You're listening to Too Damn Loud. My name is Jake, and this is Danny, and these are the Toxhards, our second guest on the podcast.
Yeah, 2 guests in a row.
I know, Jesus Christ.
Look at us branching out and socializing.
I wanted to know. That's a big step for us, by the way. I wanted to know what month, or we can even broaden it up to season. What season would you want to die in?
Fall.
I feel like that's the most valid response. Like, what other... That's the most... Like, if I imagine a peaceful death, it's in the fall, and there's like a cool breeze and like the leaves falling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's because winter's already death. It's like has been dead, but fall is a beautiful transition period.
Dying.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, but the beauty is in that everything is dying. When the leaves fall, it's because the leaves are dying and the tree is going into a transitory mode. And if I'm going to be going into a potentially transitory mode through death, I think fall is a beautiful, romantic way to go. It rhymes with the end of mortality.
Wow.
That's gorgeous. That's incredible. I'd pick President's Day. Just personally, I'd be like,
I didn't know like national holidays or I'd be like National Pickle Day. I'm like, that's what I'm choosing.
Dude, there's like a hot dog day, like
you just take that.
Yeah.
Or like I would die on 7-Eleven so that they can people can go and get like a free
Danny blood
slush.
Exactly. that's the cause of death, honestly, is too many free ices.
Dude, for real. I think, fall's a really good answer. I like the idea of maybe something like, I don't know if this is a bad thing to say, but maybe like Veterans Day, so it's more about me.
That's crazy. Or St. Patrick's Day.
Or St. Pat. And everyone's drinking.
Call it St. Jake's Day instead.
Wait, are you a veteran?
Yes.
Hold on. I was like, tell me about your service. Where did you? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that must be that's stolen valor, right? You're not allowed to say things like that.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up, dude.
Honestly, we're done. We're out of here.
Yeah,
This podcast
we're
is
walking
over.
off.
You disrespect my country.
Oh, dude. We didn't even make it 10 minutes.
Dude, it's been 3.
And already you've insulted veterans, the country, and the Toxhards.
And now they're gone.
I promise. You have not insulted us, I promise.
You insult me, that's fine. You insult my country?
Man, so the reason
That's why
we
we have a problem, buddy.
nab you guys for this is I saw you posting that asking your Instagram followers if they would listen to one of your guys' podcasts. Is that something that you've thought of doing in the past?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because when we're not in album mode or tour mode, we're in day job mode.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to even just wrangle the 3 of us together. Like, even today has been in the books for like 3 weeks, and it's been like, wow, here comes July 20th, the big day where the
Finally.
Yeah. And so the amount of like time and effort it takes to like put it together, we just don't know if we have the resources on top of all the other things that we do, because I don't know if your audience is aware, but we just put out an album, Your Neighborhood.
Hey!
Masterpiece, by the way.
Thank you very much. I do want to talk about your new single because it's amazing. But
Thank you.
I'll wrap up my
It's
thing.
gasoline.
And fire.
It is both fire and gasoline.
Well, I want to talk like I potentially want to talk like, you know, Beatles and power pop because I hear.
Oh my
it
God.
all the
Dude,
time.
you're talking to the right guys. This guy just barely got
I got Paul McCartney tickets.
McCartney and Oasis tickets.
Yeah.
And Oasis.
And
And
Oasis.
Oasis.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about Paul McCartney because I just spent a down payment on a car for 5th row at a Creasier
What?
with the
That's
sound check. Yeah,
That's like $1,200.
I mean, here's the
17.
thing. Paul McCartney is one of, like, he is
I
a living
know.
legend. And this might be your last opportunity to see, like, he is
God.
not even just one of the Beatles, but he is, like, the Beatle. You know what I'm talking about? He's
Yeah,
Paul
I mean,
fucking McCartney.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna talk about individuals that like just shaped music forever, it's like at least in like the Western world, like Robert Johnson, Chuck Berry, Little Richard,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, Many would say Elvis. I don't know how
Well,
much.
you already. Here's the thing. You already said
know?
Chuck Berry and Little Richard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's like I don't know how much Elvis actually innovated it. He just kind of did it, and I guess kudos to the popularity aspect, but at the same time, like Paul and what they were doing in Abbey Road Studio 2 was just like they were just inventing close miking. They were inventing psychedelic music. They were inventing combinations of. They didn't invent like musique concrete or anything with Revolution 9, but it's like imagine if Justin Bieber's new album Swag had a 10-minute sound collage on it. It would never happen, and they would do it. So anyway, I digress, but anyways, the new Toxhard album, which is actually better than any Beatles album. It's like to do a podcast means that we would have to essentially take away time, energy, and resources away from other projects that we're doing to promote the album. So we're about to go on tour. Tour dates will be announced.
Like
by the time this
This will come out
Thursday.
next Thursday. So
yeah. So okay,
Nice.
tickets on sale now.
Everybody check it out.
Yeah, it's the fall run of the Your Neighborhood tour, and then leading up to that, I mean, one of the things we're doing today is we're nailing down more shoot dates for more music videos. So it's like
your music videos are so incredible. By the way,
Well, thank you.
I think
Thank
about the Satan's Little Hell Song music video all the
Crazy.
time.
Oh, thank you. That was
So do we. And
Yeah.
the lasting psychological damage.
yeah, we should talk about how that was made. But basically, we decided like a year ago that because we all met in film school, and all of our videos up until like basically Satan's Little Hell Song, like we'd had like other friends and stuff like direct them, like friends we knew from film school. But I was getting to the point where I was getting antsy because it felt like a lot of our friends and stuff had like ideas for music videos, and the core individuals within the Toxhard entourage, which is obviously us, but then also my wife Amanda, who does all of our art, Emerson's girlfriend Beck, who does a lot of like our merch and custom stuff, and then of course the goat Hannah, who is our day-to-day operations photographer, handles all of our merch stuff, does all customer service stuff. And she's a world-class dancer as well. So Amanda and Hannah put their heads together and wrote the Satan's Little Hell Song music video, which was based on Dante's Inferno. It was like a small idea I had, which is like a stage show Dante's Inferno thing.
Like Nightmare where you don't know the choreography
Yeah,
and lines.
I even that, like my idea wasn't even that fleshed out, and Amanda was able to develop it into a very so every scene in that video is actually a different canto from it's a different level of hell from Dante's Inferno. And Hannah and Amanda were they went around Los Angeles for like 2 weeks finding all the different props on the side of the road. Like literally they would just drive around because it's LA. You could find anything you want on the side of the road if you drive around enough.
Half an hour, you'll find a couch.
Yeah.
That and Facebook Marketplace, yeah.
And Amanda has this unbelievable ability to just see something that nobody else can see. And it's frustrating for her sometimes because it's not until the thing is finished does everyone see what she was seeing the whole time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she's like MacGyver. So like I think of the set in Satan's Little Hell Song, the bar, where I'm the bartender and everything, and then we spin it around.
Too and everything.
Oh yeah, so yeah, those are breakaway bottles. I don't actually think we paid for them. I think
they were left over from the Doom Bop, right?
I don't think they were. Because we used all of them for the Doom Bop video famously. I think they were either like bought for super cheap or something, but they weren't like, because a normal like one breakaway bottle brand new is like $25 or
Oh,
something.
fuck.
Wow.
You know, so if when you see how many breakaway bottles were used in the Doombop music video, when you know they're throwing bottles at us, like that's like $25 a hit, and then
Like,
it was
better get
awesome.
the entire
Yeah, and it was
budget.
awesome when they would like hit the ground and miss us,
my
and I'd
God.
be like,
When
"Thanks,
one
bro."
would hit us and just not break, and it's like, well,
Speaking of Doombop, really quick, I've been
Yeah.
a fan of you guys for a long time, and I mean the original thing that hooked me was Angus, of course. But then I was listening to Doombop, and I was watching a TikTok that you made that was a breakdown of the cover art because it wasn't a capture from like a slap, and
Yeah.
slow-mo
Yeah, the
video. of-
opening shot, or we did like a promo version. Yeah.
Well, so it was Emerson's idea for the cover, and of course Amanda illustrated it, but it was like I don't know where you got. I think he was just mad at me, and he was like, "What if it's like me slapping his fucking face?" It was literally like I think we just rolled on a slow mo on an iPhone.
like the 0.5.
Yeah, on the 0.5,
'Cause we're like,
like, right
if we can get like a frame of the slap where it is just the most like face mutilated, like in motion, and then just like freeze frame that, and then Amanda will work her art magic using that. Like I was like, that's but like with like
Yeah.
a big happy grin smile. on
I
his
remember
face. It's like
you
the
saying
kinda-
that you wanted it to be like upbeat but off-putting, and I was like,
Which
these
is the
guys
whole-
Yeah.
put so much fucking thought into
Into
those
that.
minute details, and
Yeah,
that
the
is
whole thing of the song,
so
too.
like when you listen to your music, especially Your Neighborhood album, that comes across so well, and you guys are just really great artists.
I got
Thank you. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
where the devil is, right? It's in the details.
Absolutely.
gotta know because in LA, you were talking about LA, and it got me thinking. We went to LA, and people, first off, they just cut each other off in traffic all the time.
Yes.
What
But-
the fuck is that about?
But no. But one thing,
no one
it's the
uses
big leagues,
blinker.
baby.
Is that not a thing?
The big league.
in California?
No, it's the big. You got to use your mind. You got to use your intuition. It's the big leagues of driving.
You gotta high
It's the
five
major
it.
leagues. You got to get out of that Utah shit. That's
You guys gotta know. Oh yeah, that guy's gonna fucking merge there.
they drive
you,
by.
you mind meld. You mind meld with your fellow Angelinos.
Yeah,
They
geez.
drive by
They
feel
drive by
instead of
feel.
technique.
The my thing is, does no one honk at each other because we got mad and honked because we got cut off, and then we realized people just get cut off, and it's just like whatever.
That's life, baby.
Yeah, well,
That's Tuesday morning.
You get. I think the only time you truly get honked is if your life's in danger. If you get cut off and it's like, well, we're all kind of in this. It's like I don't know if you've ever been to Italy, but like it's kind of like Italy driving around. Like if Italy's a 10. You know, oh well, yeah. I mean, my last name is I'm professionally known as Alan Powers, but my last name is Macchiarolo, and I'm let's see, I have blue eyes. I am 6'2", and I grow no hair on my chest, so I'm like an anti-looking Italian. But I mean, I got the name, so
Gotta have the
I've been to
gold cross just sitting in the chest hair.
yeah,
you know?
dude, and I went to like a distant cousin's Italian wedding. There was like 16 meals. It was unbelievable. It was
that's awesome.
crazy. You have to fast for 2 days before, otherwise you're not
Just
gonna make
the
it.
sentence, I went to my distant cousin's wedding, is so Italian. You know what I mean?
It's oh yeah. It's
I don't know any distant cousins of mine.
It was wild. I mean, it was an unbelievable experience. But like that's the thing, like driving in Italy, it's like traffic laws are more like suggestions. It's like a general guideline. It's a blueprint, but like everyone is also like graduated from, you know, the Upright Citizens Brigade of driving. So everyone's kind of improvising and right. You can't get mad at someone, you know, for a decision they made. You just kind of have to go along with it. So everyone sort of like coexist. Now, LA is not as nice. I actually don't know why they I saw this like in a tweet or something like, but like I just don't know why they include like the option to have a blinker in a BMW. Like it's kind of like I saw a BMW with a blinker on once, and I went
Like
the
what?
seventh wonder of the world.
Yeah.
He must
The eighth.
do.
Yeah,
So
so
shocking to me. In Utah, if you cut somebody off, like they
They
will follow
shoot you with
they
a
will
gun.
follow you and you. They will like
Wow.
pull up to the side and like flip you off and yell at you.
They'll pull in front of you and stop and get
That's
out to
happened.
fight
Yeah,
you.
that fully happened to
That's
me.
happened.
A guy did that to me once.
All those videos I've seen on Instagram, those are all filmed in Utah.
Literally.
Literally,
that seems so like anti-Mormon. Like that feels so like.
You'll notice that a lot of Utah's like the people and practices are very anti-Mormon. Of what?
Interesting.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is why I love the great city of Chicago, because it's my favorite driver so far that we've encountered on tour, because they drive like LA drivers, which I'm used to, but they always let you know what they're about to do.
Yeah.
They always use their it's the same as LA, but they just always use their blinker. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. I understand the vibe here, but also I know what you're about to do.
I use my blinker like turning into my driveway.
Dude, same.
Like I don't like I'm turning right here and like
No one around.
Oh, who
no one
cares?
around. It's just
They'll figure it out.
It's not that I'm like I think it takes a lot of energy to decide whether or not you're going to use a blinker, as opposed to just the muscle memory of I'm just it's upper it's right or left. You know what I mean? That's my philosophy.
See, I ride around town. My last car didn't have AC, so I'm always rolling with all the windows down. And I'm a pretty chill person in IRL, but I channel all my stress and anger into the car. It doesn't reflect in my driving. I'm not like whatever. But if there's somebody, cutting me off, or somebody, my least favorite, LA is rife with people who are in the left turn lane, and they get the green arrow and they're not paying attention. And in lieu of honking, I usually have my windows down. I usually give them a, what are we doing? Let's go!
Come on!
Or my favorite is the crescendo, like, move! So that's my strategy, but
The guy from SpongeBob,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
exactly.
My favorite stuck in a fucking traffic jam story. It was so good. I just gotten off. Who cares? It was some fucking freeway. I was driving to Culver City. I used to work a graveyard shift in Culver City, and I lived in Glendale. And for those who don't know LA area, that it's about 10, 15 miles, and it takes 2.5 to 3 hours to get there in rush hour traffic. And I was working a graveyard shift, so I had to go the opposite direction everyone else was going.
At
3 hours.
Yeah,
like
at
5 or 6
Yeah, at 5 or 6 p.m. Get into work around like 6:37 or whatever. So I would leave at like 3, and I'm stuck in traffic, and I'm just sitting there with like the windows rolled down, and I'm just like seething. I just moved to LA, so I wasn't totally like used to it yet and everything. And even
COVID, too.
yeah, and it was pre-COVID, so like everyone was in the office. Now even still, it's like pretty bad, but it's not nearly as bad as it was even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I hear someone just like off to my left or to my right, and they're going, oh, telephone line, give me some time. And I look, and it's a guy like a little younger than I am, and I like the traffic starts moving in front of me, but I stay there because I want him to come up right to my side, and I see him, and I just start singing like, I'm living in twilight, and he points his finger out like, telephone line, and we're just like, bro, ELO, dude, and then like the car's like stopped, and like I was thinking about like getting out of my car to go give him a hug, but like then the car started moving, and like biggest regret of my life is just not fucking pulling the trigger and just getting the fuck out. Yeah, give that guy a hug. That's like a like I whenever I get mad in traffic, I'm just like, bro,
Telephone
like,
line, baby.
there are beautiful people around you. It's all right. You know what I mean?
How long did it
love
take you
that.
to get
Of
back from that job,
traffic
by the way?
and road rage, Your Neighborhood, the album,
Yeah.
and the
Oh, yeah.
concept of getting into a car. First of all, can I just say, I listened to that album front to back, and I had an experience earlier, I think it was last year, where are you mocking me right now?
I'm trying to translate for
I
them.
fell asleep at the wheel and got in a car crash, and it was like a
shit.
super harrowing experience. And it
Right.
made me realize, like, I fully lived through the, like, I could have fucking died. Like, what is happening? Like, I need to, like, put less stress on myself. I worked, like, an opening shift into a show until, like, midnight, was driving on the 3 a.m. crash. And so I listened through that album, and I was like, oh, my God, they get that. But what inspired you to put that story into song?
Well, hold. Are you good? Like,
I'm good.
No, he died.
I died, and I think I'm in hell currently.
that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Lord Jesus.
in your story right now, you're like around track 8 or
I'm
something.
around track 8, literally. Yeah.
You're in the interlude between "Die Die Die" and Satan's Little Hell Song. It's about to get fucking crazy. Wait, but like, so you got in an accident? Like, can I? Do you mind me asking? Like,
Oh, yeah,
details
please.
the. So like, did you just like drive off the side of the road, or did you hit something? Like, what happened?
Right. I was driving, and I just fully and it was the same thing. I was like slapping my face. I heard that in the album.
Yeah.
Shit, I literally was doing that, but someone's at my door. But I just drifted off, and it was like 3 a.m, so no one was on the road. I was in the middle, and I woke up, and I just slammed into the barrier on the right. So I was okay. My car was fucked, but it still could drive, and I just pulled it off to the side, and I just scrapped it and got a new car. But I was like, if there were more people on the road, I could have died. If I hit it going faster, I could have died, because I kind of slowed down and then hit it at like 40 miles an hour.
Oh, and then like if you had overcorrect, because there's
so many ways I could have just been a smoothie on the side of the road, right?
Yeah. It's that's a second lease, man. Yeah, I've fallen asleep at the wheel a couple times. I've never it's the rumble strips have saved my life. Like literally, I can count on one hand. So it's not that many times, but that's one times. That's any times is more times.
Falling asleep at the wheel, and it's like you could die, or even worse, you could kill somebody right next to you.
That's the worst part. So well, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad that it could have been worse. Holy Jesus. But
there's a guy at the door.
Okay.
And he said he wants to go on a walk with someone here. He promised someone he's going to go on a walk with them.
What?
So it's not you?
I don't think so. Was this like a threat?
No.
I thought you were gonna be like, there's a guy at the door and he wants money. He wants money now.
What's to go on a walk?
$10,000.
What's more threatening than there's a guy here who said he needs to go on a walk with you? I'm like,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Coming for a walk with me, pal.
That sounds like my distant Italian cousin.
that's the FBI getting here because Jake just chat on veterans at the start of the
Yeah, exactly.
They heard him.
Man,
I'm gonna take this opportunity to check that my phone is still rolling and no one's giving me like a phone call.
that's a good idea.
Tell me about how that idea came about for let's write this concept album through a near-death experience.
Yeah. Well, it was. I forced these guys to go along with it. So it was something that came about. It was mostly inspired by. I'm very interested in this drama of this guy.
I know. I'm still thinking about it too. Jake is out.
He just went on a walk with him. Yeah.
He's like,
I
"All
guess
right, I'll
I'm gonna
go."
Come back.
Dude. He must be here for my roommate or something. That's just such a strange. There's so little details that I'm concerned.
I know. I'm like, they didn't give a name of the guy they want to walk with.
Such a strange mission to be on. It's like I'm here to go on a walk with somebody in this house here.
Yeah. Or if you promise someone that you're going to go on a walk with them, did that guy just wake up today and he's like, oh man, it's Sunday. I told that one guy at that one house that I'm going to go on a walk with him.
This is the day I go on a walk with that guy from that house. Oh, that's crazy.
Really strange.
If that were to happen in LA, I would have called the police. That's just how that works. Yeah,
if you're in Texas, you could be like,
get the fuck off my property.
I'm a little distracted by that going on, but I'll try to be succinct. So I come from the Midwest, a little town called South Lyon, Michigan, and I was lucky enough to be able to go to Chapman University and meet these guys in Orange County, California. I'd visited California when I was 15, and I knew, being in San Francisco and driving down the PCH, that I was gonna live in California. I got to LA and I went, I don't know if I want to live here, and now it's been 13 years. And actually Casey had a very similar experience with California, and honestly growing up in the Midwest, because you're from Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah. We led very parallel lives until we met, and we're like, wow, we've never had a unique experience ever.
Yeah.
No,
say the only
there are
difference
no
is
unique
Casey
experience.
Loves LA.
Yeah, LA is the greatest city in the world, baby.
Casey loves
I lived
LA.
in California for 3 months, and I hated every second.
Where'd you live?
Come on.
In Thousand Oaks.
Oh, it's hot as fuck there, yeah.
It's fuck there, but I don't know. I just don't like. To be fair, I did also go to middle school in Thousand Oaks when I was there, and I just think I hate rich teenagers. Is what it is.
That's so
That's
valid.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say
so
that's
valid.
that's where they all live.
My
and
my
it's
big
their-
What
my
just
big
happened?
conundrum.
I don't know what just happened.
Did you go on a walk with the guy?
No. He was kind enough to tell me his age. He's 75 years old. And he came to the door and he said, at church, Chris was telling me that he wants to go on a walk. And I said I'd come by and pick him up and go on a walk with him. And I was like, well, no one here is named Chris. And he goes, no, but I told him I'm going on a walk with him. And I was like, hey, I'll go ask. And I was like, so I tried, and I was like, no one else is here. And then I walked out and I said, okay, I was trying to explain what everyone looked like here. And I was explaining, and I was telling him the ages, and he goes, well, I'm 75. And I was like, okay.
So there's even
And I was
less chance of
like,
you
this
knowing
makes no
one of
sense.
us.
And then I was like, I don't know. And he said, okay, well, you have a good day. And he left. And he's like, I think I have the wrong house. I told him, I said, you have the wrong house. And he goes, maybe I do. And he just left.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
What a request.
it sounds like someone's grandpa is missing.
I was about to say it smacks of dementia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone got out of the retirement.
And he told me, he's like, it sounds like Chris in there who's cussing into the microphone.
Now he's pissed at Chris.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a
gonna
talk
go-
with Chris later.
Yeah, he's like, Chris, bro.
He's like, Chris, we're in the house of
Why
God,
does this
but I
always
heard you
happen?
saying some unclean things."
You answered a last podcast. Too.
podcast,
Someone came to the door.
someone came to the
It
door-
was also an old person that you had to talk to, right?
And said, please move your car because it's blocking the driveway. But the car wasn't blocking the driveway, but Carter moved it anyway. But yeah, I don't know what's, and she called us cute. So
Dude, a couple weeks ago, this isn't related to anything. We've been having great conversations about, life,
Getting
and
car
dad,
accidents.
and inspiration and music. But I was saying goodbye to my partner. They were driving home, and it was 2 a.m. And I live right next to a park. There's a park down the street, and I heard the swings, and there was just an adult man on the swings, just creak,
at like
creak,
what time?
creak at 2 a.m. by himself.
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna get today. What is happening?
That is
Holy
creepy.
shit.
Scary
Further proof that you're in like a limbo state. Like this is actually you did die and you're in some sort of in between place right now.
You're gone.
Yeah, welcome.
This is
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're the stewards of this in between place.
purgatory. It's called
Yeah.
purgatory.
Exactly.
Is where I think we are.
This is like
One
the
time-
first circle of hell with all the writers.
There's a park behind my house, and one time I heard a family it was 2 parents and a kid, and it was like 3 a.m. and they were just at the park like it was normal.
I just don't
They were
get
like, yeah, play swing set and shit. I don't know.
Ghosts.
No, those are just grind set influencers. You're like, my day starts at 3 a.m. and I go swing on the fucking swing set.
I get 3 days out of my day every day.
My first day is 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
By next day, yeah,
That's so funny.
that's probably what it was. I think you're right.
yeah, it's probably influencers.
That's actually why we started this podcast, so we could kind of motivate people to do better and shit. And it's like stop being such a bitch. Wake up,
Exactly.
get your bag up, and
Investment
Stop
tips,
buying
yeah.
Coffee. It's all the coffee you're buying.
This is my favorite Manosphere podcast, so it's like really cool to be here.
this
Yeah,
$7
Next guest
coffee.
is Andrew Tate.
if anyone are alpha males, it's me and Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of the
And you
music
guys, of
industry.
course.
I was gonna take
Yeah.
some to know
Oh, yeah,
some,
dude.
brother.
The Toxhards, Ronnie Radke.
Dude,
get
fucking
him on the
Ronnie
podcast,
Radke. Let's
dude.
get him on the podcast.
I gotta compliment the Bucky's
The Bucky's
coffee.
Cuppies.
The Bucky's Cuppies, dude. That's
40
what I'm
ounce
talking about.
Bucky's
Do
Tumbler.
you guys ever get?
Most magical place on earth.
Because
Dude.
I'm remembering we went to Bucky's, and I just looked at it and I said, "This is a sea of bullshit that's going to end up in a landfill, and it's wasteful and it's useless." And I was wondering if you guys ever get so into your head and so uncomfortable about that it's hard for you.
all the time. Yeah.
Never.
No, all the time. Yeah, all the time. I look at my record collection, which is like right here, and there's like 300 albums, and they're all gonna outlast me because it's made of fucking vinyl plastic, and it kind of freaks me out. And then I go, chill, dude. Just
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
My whole thing too is like when I see like a bunch of like crushed up dirty cans on like the side of a trail in nature or something, like it's sad and it makes you get existential. But then I'm like, if I'm thinking big picture, like first of all, in a way, it's almost.
Would
like,
you pick them up?
No.
I always pick up. I always
I'm
pick
a
up the
piece of shit. I'm
cans.
sorry.
It's
But,
I always
like,
I'm kind of like lame like that. I like bring like a stupid bag sometimes and I'm like oh I'm
Like a little claw hand thing.
I'm like at the end of the day, it's like when we're all dead and gone, and this planet has hit the fucking Etch a Sketch and like all of that. Eventually, it's like we will show no trace. Eventually, the planet will be fine. It's that great George Carlin bit. It's just like the Earth is gonna be fine. We're fucked.
We're
You know?
fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like existentially, I'm like the planet will be okay. Whatever, and like also I'm like we are natural existing on this earth, so it's like when you see things like that, in a way it still almost is kind of natural, or at least that's what I tell myself to not feel so existentially dreadful about it.
Another thing I always try to remind myself, because that I get that feeling a lot. I remember a buddy of mine got me really into the game Magic the Gathering. I was having a great time, and then I was like, this company convinced me that these little pieces of plastic, these little cardboard papers have so much worth, and I'm giving them a bunch of money, and they're just funneling out all these little pieces of paper wrapped in foil, and it's all just going to end up in a landfill. But then I try to remember, do we blame the consumers or the people who are making all of the things? Like we are... And at the end of the day, we are the worker bees. We are the people.
We're cogs in the machine, bro. Yeah.
Cogs in the machine. And so those forms of escapism, like a 40-ounce Buc-ee's tumbler, if we want to get to the root of the problem, should we blame the people who aren't recycling, or should we blame the people making the plastic?
Exactly. Take down the beaver.
I saw an article in the Guardian. Like even this morning they made a post about it, and it was like, you know, AC, air conditioning, like it's killing the planet. Like you should feel bad. And it was a whole thing about like how AC makes us cooler, but it's also heating the earth. And I'm like, it's not the AC that's heating the earth. It's the forms of energy that we use to power the AC that's heating the earth. And is that our fault? Because we don't have control over whether or not it's powered by a wind farm or solar panels, unless you spend a fuckload of money to get solar panels on your roof. Or like we don't have a choice. Like there's a coal plant in fucking Burbank, you know, that's where
clean.
a lot of
That's clean air, and you are spreading propaganda. It's good for your lungs.
Coal.
They took our jobs.
And it's like, is it the consumer's fault for needing fucking air conditioning in the middle of summer?
I'm like,
or is it? And you go to Europe and they don't have air conditioning built into their like buildings by default, because all of them are like fucking old ass buildings, and so they just like open a window and they can't believe it, you know, that like Americans like do this, and so there is, I think, a little bit of like a cultural thing. Like Americans are very used to air conditioning, but at the same time, air conditioning or no air conditioning, I think ultimately the problem, it goes higher than that. It's always on the consumer, right? Like, well, maybe you should get like a fucking, you know, car that doesn't do, maybe you need to recycle more. And it's like, and this was all, we all know that this was a campaign by like BP, British Petroleum, was like your carbon footprint, right? That was back in the like 2000s as a response to shit.
Era.
Well, it was a response to shit like fucking Inconvenient Truth. It was like, well, like, you know, you need to bring down your carbon footprint, and if everybody on Earth brings down their carbon footprint, and it's like, well, like the amount of carbon emissions. If I were to get a fucking private airplane, you know, by the time, and I fly to the fucking other side of my living room to grab the remote, by the time I die, I will have emitted like a fraction of the carbon that British Petroleum as a company just to create their product. Not even the cars that use their oil or whatever, like it just to create their product in a day, you know? So it's but at that point, you can't just throw up your hands and go, well, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, you still have to be aware of, like, you know, your impact. But, you know, when those moments where it's like, you know, you walk into a Buc-ee's and, like, everything in here is going to end up in a fucking landfill. Yeah, that blows. But remember, like, it's not your fault. If you want to do something about it, you just contact your like local representatives and stuff, which I like do. I'm like really nerdy about that. Like I do that a lot.
Everyone should.
I was just at a town hall
The only
with our.
that we have is in local government.
Yeah,
And
I just went. I went to a. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I just went to like a little gathering like with our local North Hollywood assembly member for the state of California, and it was popping. So it was cool to see the community like rallied around that, and, sort of thing. But it's like, it's one thing to like I think bitch and moan and complain about like how bad things are. You have to like show up and like do something about it. Like you can't just obviously the protests were hugely important, but like you can't just go to the protests and go, okay, I'm done for the year. Like you have to keep following up with these motherfuckers.
You can't just post a selfie at a protest and be like, okay, I did my thing and now I don't have to worry about it.
I feel kind of like weird about like there was like pictures of me at the meeting with the assembly member, like because I was just like tall wearing this bright blue Ben Folds fucking shirt, and like I'm like in all of these pictures, and I felt weird like sharing it, be like, hey, I went to the, because it feels so I'm like, I just want to know that I did I feel good about myself knowing that I just did it. And like if people are trying to feel good about themselves, it's like they can't stop at like, okay, I feel satisfied that I've done my part. It's like I have to make sure everyone knows that I did my part, and that's where I get very uncomfortable. So I just kind of steer away from doing stuff like that.
I'm sorry to hear about your soon to be heart attack that you're gonna have.
Yeah, Alan's been on the brink of killing himself actually. So it won't be a surprise when that inevitably happens from when he shoots himself in the back of the head.
Twice.
Twice, yeah.
I will say, I think the heart attack is coming soon in real life because it is no secret in the Toxhard community now that I power myself through scoops of pre-workout multiple times a day in order to get shit done.
Wait, do you
including
really?
working out? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
including working out, but on my rest days, I'm still pounding that shit just to
feel something, man.
Well, I can't drink coffee anymore. We have the coffee song. I can't drink coffee anymore. I've like
Makes some poop bad.
Yeah, it ruins my day. Like straight up. So
Worse
I
than
just
the average bear.
Yeah, so I just stopped doing that. Which is hilarious.
What do you know about Mio?
That's that little squirty shit, right?
In the water.
Let me tell you,
I had it once.
Bucky's Tumblr is filled with Mio energy, and
Is this a paid promo?
this is a pay.
Click the shop right now.
Click the TikTok shop button. But I've been trying to get off of like Monsters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have such a caffeine problem, especially Jake just got a new job. Speaking about having to work around our day jobs.
Yeah.
I work nights. I work like 4 to 11. And Jake, for the longest time, didn't have a job because he made so much money doing sales. But he got a new job that starts at 10. So now we record. If it's just us doing the podcast, we'll record at like 7 a.m. And so I've been trying to get off of Monsters, but these little Mio things are so cheap, and there's zero sugar, and there's no taurine.
That's the secret.
Fucks me so hard.
Yeah.
And the sport all that.
Taurine will do it.
Highly recommend.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. I'm so sorry. I keep getting so sidetracked. We were talking about the fucking album and where it came from.
And we ended up on.
You gotta understand. That's all this podcast is some things never get circled back to. That's
I'm gonna do my best to circle back.
ADHD time.
I won't be totally effective at it, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so Midwest, right? Okay, Midwest. Moved to California. Very lucky to meet these guys. Go to film school. So when you grow up in a small town, right? Like, did you guys grow up in like Salt Lake City, or was it like a small?
Utah is where we grew up.
Wait, where was it?
It's called Springville.
Springville. That sounds fake.
It does. It sounds like everyone thinks it's like the place from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
It's close.
It really does sound like a small hick town,
and it
like
kind
a
of
book.
is. But we got the first art museum in Utah, I think.
Nice.
Wow. So compare it to like Nephi, where Brandon Flowers is from.
Yeah, it's true.
Nephi?
It's smaller
Yeah,
than.
no way.
Oh, no, Nephi.
Because here's Provo, right? You know Provo?
Yeah.
Is like a
Right,
tiny
it's
town
the
right
next
underneath.
one under it.
Interesting. Okay, so growing up in a small place like that, you probably know how small and big the world is. So like, what I mean by that is like it's small in that you know everybody around. You go to the grocery store and you strike up conversations with people. There's a lot of underlying drug usage and depression and suicides, and you know these people who, or you know someone who died every year.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say there's an underlying racist vibe.
Oh,
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah, and that's what like the song "Your Neighborhood" is actually like about. Because I wrote that song long before the concept. Actually, I wrote that song before the band started. It's a really old song, the song "Your Neighborhood." A lot of the recordings like in the song are recycled from at a first attempt I made to record the song in 2017. Almost a decade ago. So it's a very old sentiment that unfortunately aged very well. It aged better than the day I wrote it. But it's like, when you grow up, like, so South Lyon, Michigan was, do you know what I mean by a white flight suburb in southeastern Michigan? So in the late 1960s, there were very, very, very intense riots in Detroit. Like, you think the riots or whatever the fuck they were trying to spin it as in LA was bad. Like, this was like the U.S. military was brought in. There were tanks in the street, kind of similar to this, but the tanks were like used, and it was fucking crazy. And they were, it was very. It's unfortunately a tale as old as time at this point in America, where they were bad actors, white cops doing terrible things to innocent black civilians, and there was an uprising in protest of it, and shit got destroyed. And the white population of Detroit moved out of Detroit en masse following the Detroit riots. And so they called it the white flight. So in the 70s and 80s, there was this huge mass migration over essentially a whole generation to towns like Milford, to towns like closer to Detroit like Livonia, and then like a town like the one I grew up in, which is South Lyon. And the demographic of South Lyon, Michigan is like, as of 2010's census, was like 98.8% white in a town of like 10 to 15,000
That's a
people.
Utah bullshit.
That's some Utah. That's some Springville, Utah numbers right there.
Yeah. Now that's not to say like looking at, because we went and actually saw like the Pumpkin Fest parade because we were back in South Lyon about to kick off our first tour, and we went and saw a parade, and I was actually like kind of surprised and happy to see a bit more diversity in the like the school bands that were like there. Like, it was just like you'd have like the token minority kids, and now it was actually a bit not great, but it was a lot more than what it was when I was younger.
Token minority stuff in a mainly white town is so crazy, because I'm a quarter Japanese, and I was the token minority.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah. In Springville, Utah.
It was always.
I mean, you look at me and you just see like a white person, pretty much. But even so much as like, so I totally get what that's like, being like having no diversity and having no other culture growing up. Anyways, continue.
Well, so in that world, when you're a kid, when I was a kid, I didn't know, and my parents. So like, I have to hand it to my parents. They were super left, progressive, like anti-fascist, just like woke long before that term was a thing. Like, they were screaming universal healthcare in like 2004, and my dad was in like a bunch of like blues bands and stuff in and around Detroit. So he was in. This is you can come through. This is Sky Brabant, everybody. He wrote the lyrics to many of our songs.
Let's go,
hello, Sky.
Yeah.
Sky, do you have anything to say to
the
the people of the world?
Do you have anything to say to the world, Sky? To the
Everyone.
world.
Style dinner rolls.
keep on toxin, stay hard.
Let's go.
Wow.
I think we can all get behind that.
Anyways, so like I learned from like a young age, like not like the not straight up racism. You know what I mean? However, when you grow up in such a homogenous community, it wasn't until I was older and I went to Chapman, which is like what 80 something 70
Barely, yeah.
70% white, and I went to Chapman and I got to this school and I was like, wow, this is a diverse environment. and I was like fucking like 14, 15, you know. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was the
He was
year.
a child prodigy.
That was the year. It was
it
2014, 2015.
uni.
2014, 2015. So I was like, 18, 19. Like I always knew that it was like what's the Vampire Weekend song? Unbearably White. I knew that it was. But then, like, you go to Chapman, you're like, wow, this is diverse. And then you have, like, protests on campus about how white it is. And you're like, oh, holy shit. And so that experience kind of made me look back on my upbringing in South Lyon, which I thought was actually a very, like, kind of happy, nice childhood. My family was very supportive emotionally and financially. My dad was a musician, and so when I wanted to be a musician, he helped me do that. He recorded, an album, in a home studio with like my shitty high school band. And my mom was very like, when I showed an interest in film, she was like, "Oh, let's get him a camera. Yeah, let's follow that." Yeah. And my dad, he didn't have that support growing up from his family, so he wanted to make sure that I had that, and so I was very loved and very supported in a very white community. And I didn't realize or see the underlying, like, that scene at the very beginning of Blue Velvet, the David Lynch movie, where it's like, the worms underneath the ground of this beautiful neighborhood. Like that is what I realized it was by the time I finished college.
And the worms. I get it.
I realized I could have been a worm because a lot of people didn't leave South Lyon after graduation. A lot of people don't. Most people, did. I have to hand it to them. And it's funny because it was a very conservative school growing up. I remember in middle school when Obama was being elected president, kids coming up to me and saying like he was going to like turn the government over to Osama bin Laden and like enact Sharia law and like when
his middle name's Hussein
and that's the crazy like we're all in middle school. Like I wasn't forming my own independent political thoughts in middle school. I was parroting what my parents were saying, which was very left stuff, and all these other kids are saying right stuff, which is just like there's going to be death panels for grandma when Obamacare's passed, and it's just crazy. And it's funny because a lot of those kids, who did go to college, they start tweeting stuff like, why don't we have universal health care? And they all like realize in college, they once they leave their fucking parents' house, and they have a little fucking education. So, and I was happy, or I was rather proud of South Lyon in 2020 when the George Floyd protests were happening. South Lyon staged its own protests, and like thousands of people lined the main street for like miles and miles and miles to protest, and the counter protest was like a handful of people.
Yeah,
and that was very, very cool. I was very proud of the town for that. But it's that sort of like looking back on where you came from, and then sort of wondering, what if I'd never left? Like, what if I had just stayed in South Lyon and didn't go to California and didn't meet these guys and start a band? What if I had all these ambitions? Because I know a lot of people who have like ambitions but are either too afraid to pursue them or think it's cringe to pursue them or
like not feasible
or not feasible. And they they do the thing where it's just like, hey, here's an opportunity to go to it. Oh, well, I usually on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock I have spaghetti, so I have to go get the spaghetti. And they just make an obstacle right in front of them, and they go, now I can't move. And I'm like,
always spaghetti. I don't know what the fuck. It's always spaghetti.
It's always, that's why I fucking hate spaghetti. I'm the most anti-Italian. Like I was saying, like I hate spaghetti.
Yeah, man.
I fucking hate spaghetti.
Strong
Anyways,
take.
so that's where it came from, and it's I think, coincidence that the character's name is Adam, which is the number one name people mistake my first name for.
I was gonna say that if you stayed in South Line, you might have been.
Oh
Adam,
yeah,
you know?
Adam. And I think a lot of people, like, you know, I think a lot of people think, you know, oh, like, you know, especially like, you know, I think a lot of we were saying like performative, you know, individuals who like go to protests and you know take selfies and go like, look where I was, you know, look at me, you know. I think it's just as easy for people like there's a great saying from a Rush song, you can only grow the way the wind blows. And I think a lot of people are shaped by mostly their environment, and if they live in a small town like Southline and never escaped, it's very, very likely that you never become, I think, as aware of the world, and you're very susceptible to being duped by individuals that want to make sure that you're in like this kind of state of
Subdued.
hatred, you know, and a state of what's the word I'm looking for? Not envy, but well, see, I'm so stupid. That's the problem. Resentment.
That was what I was like. It starts with an R.
Resentment, and that's what Adam is. He's in a state of resentment. His in the story of Your Neighborhood, his partner Beatrice had ambition and left him to pursue it. Not just because he was, you know,
A stick in the mud.
a stick in the mud, but also like I think and Amanda beautifully illustrated both literally and figuratively in the music video of Beatrice. Adam is this like totally doodled out, rotoscoped figure of these like almost like sun-colored worms, you know, and they start to overtake Beatrice the longer that she's in this relationship with him, and that can be many things. It can be, in my mind, it's like it's a fear. Like he has this built-in fear that informs the most toxic aspects of his personality. And the longer she's with him, the more fearful she becomes, the more she starts kind of acting and being like him. And that's not what she actually wants. So she has to make a very conscious, difficult decision to leave and go do what she wants, and she knows it's going to hurt him, but she can't afford to stay, and that's a huge part of his resentment, because instead of looking inside himself and asking, what did I do to, you know, botch this relationship and botch my own life, he just blames her for leaving, you know, and that starts to inform a lot of his resentment, you know. You know, he goes to work and the song like Get Creative or Get Radicalized, and he starts he's susceptible to, I think, the pipeline that is so, you know, the male loneliness epidemic.
Peterson's.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'm not going to deny that the loneliness epidemic exists, but I'm also going to be extremely wary of it being used as an excuse for, it's like, well, don't feel bad for the incel. He's just lonely. And I'm like, well, fucking go outside. Like, fuck. Like,
Introspection.
yeah, I just, you know, find some, I don't know. It's not that people like to choose to be miserable. I think it's easy to do. It's a very attractive drug.
It's easy.
It is easy. It's easy to be a victim,
That's
right?
the biggest thing. It's like what is the easier choice? Is it to reflect and do all this internal work and go, oh shit, maybe these are some things that I do that I could be doing better, that could change my life? Or it's like, oh, there's the thing that tells me that it's not my fault. Okay, so I'm just gonna believe that and be in denial.
But it's so hard and so scary to follow the path of
and the thing is,
self and looking at your problems that rarely people do it anymore.
And it's like, and that's why I think it's like there's also a question with this of like people who, you know, remain in either the hometown figuratively or like actually like remaining in the darkness or the lies of themselves. I'm like, there's also a part of it I think is innate in you too, when you're the kind of person that looks at that and goes, I can't be satisfied letting myself do that. Like I have to be the person that goes, well, no, if that's the option, if that's the right path, like I need to do that. Like I won't be happy with myself. I won't be satisfied if I don't try to be the best version of myself that I can, you know?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's almost FOMO. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if I don't be the best version of myself that I can,
I'm
missing out.
I'm missing out.
yeah.
Improving, right?
Yeah.
I definitely totally feel that of feeling like, oh, I need to work on things. But then you get also stuck in a loop of like, well, I don't know what I need to work on. I don't know how to work on things. And then you can get overwhelmed. And then even then, when you get in that space, it's easy to take the safe option of I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to ignore these thoughts.
It's really easy to do, and men do that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And because again, it's easy. But I think what's also interesting is we have people have problems where they're too introspective, and I'm like, I think it's better than being not introspective at all. But I think it's a sign of someone who's like a decently good person that just is overthinking. You know.
Yeah. I have also found him
like.
And then it can
more into
it can
like
get bad.
self-hatred and blaming yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where you get male loneliness epidemic, except it doesn't start with self-introspection. It starts with what you think is self-introspection, being like, I don't go to the gym enough, so I must be a bitch. I need to get up and stop being a bitch. You know, it's not very...
Yeah,
it's all this like negative self-motivated thing, and like in my experience too, I feel like at the end of that road of like really trying to dig deep into your mind and all these things and try to figure out blah blah blah. Like at the end of that road, so many times the answer is like the cessation of thinking. Almost at times, it's like it's just the abandonment of the pre-thinking and the trying to like I got like when you just it's like I don't want to necessarily. Yes, exactly. And I don't want to necessarily get into any topics that are maybe not PG, but like when I've done mushrooms in my life, that's all it does is it takes your brain and it goes time to turn off all the extra thinking, try to turn off all the shit that makes your brain clouded and just put you in the moment right at the front of your brain right behind your eyes right there, you know? And I wanted to ask.
Meditation helps me do
meditation.
that a lot. If I ever, my brain is just so clouded, I'll just drive up the canyon, find somewhere peaceful. And I've had times where like I'll go up and I'll be like, I'm stressed and there's no route, and I'll meditate. And 30 minutes go by and my brain is able to just go, oh, this is why I'm stressed. Yeah. And then I can actually handle that problem.
That's really I got to learn that art because I'm kind of, you know, it's funny that experience of mushrooms. My experience is so much. It is thinking. It's thinking a lot, but in a way where I can finally compartmentalize. You know. So, but it's still kind of stressful. I remember the last time I did it. I was having all of these like negative thoughts about like difficult relationships I've had in the past, and it felt like worms coming up from the ground and pulling me into the ground. You know, and it was the subconscious becoming conscious, and it was quite scary. But in the end, you know, you're able to kind of ratify it in a way, but like the art of meditation doesn't require the spending money on a fucking thing someone has to.
One
give
time
you
I
that
was
could be laced with
meditating
fentanyl.
on the beach in Newport, California.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. That's a good one.
Having a great time. I was listening to the waves. I was thinking a lot. And this old lady, she walked up to me and goes, "Are you praying?"
You're like, well,
if I was, would you come up and say that to me?
Are you praying? Yeah. Yes, I'm praying to the Lord. Oh, yeah, that's so good.
And then I said, "No, I'm not praying. I'm meditating." And she went, "Why?" I was like,
"I didn't do that, you fucking idiot."
Fuck off forever and ever. Thank you.
I wonder what she would have said if you said, "Yes, I am praying." She probably would have went, "Why?"
There was this one time I had a whole night free, and I had the apartment to myself, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do like one of those hour-long guided meditations on YouTube."
Jerk off.
Yeah, it was a sex magic goon session.
Meditation. You could just say you were jerking off.
Aleister Crowley ass.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do one of the," because me and Emerson have done some like some duo goon sessions. No, but we've done some like short term, like 15-minute, like the guided meditation situation. But I was like, oh, I got an evening here. Let me do like one of those like. We always see those like 3 hour like you will leave your body like warning, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll take it a little easy. I'll do like an hour long one, see where I'm going. And it was going great. It was like and now you'll feel a sinking sensation. I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. It's great. And I get a half hour halfway through this hour long thing, and I'm like, I'm in it and whatever. And then I hear my dog licking her fucking asshole. And I try so hard to be like, that's in the physical realm. I'm in the ethereal realm right now. Just
The best noise ever.
And I could feel myself like rise back up through all the layers and go, shut the fuck up! Oh my god!
I'm chill right now.
Peaceful.
I was relaxing.
I'm going to town on her fucking bungus, dude. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So that was the end of that.
And then I killed my dog.
So that's my meditation experience.
I got stuck at the level of meditation where you need a kill. You know, I was
exactly.
Right and then she pulled me out.
Pull me out.
Classic.
That's what I love about being in a band with these guys is we've been doing this now for 7 years total.
God.
Seriously for 4 years, but like
It's like the same.
That's the same amount of time as we have.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it's like it's and I don't. It's like he still manages to say things that like, and I imagine 20 years from now it's going to be the same thing.
Exact same.
Oh yeah, it doesn't change.
It's like being with like brothers, you know what I mean?
Totally.
It's unbelievable.
We're basically husbands.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it is kind of like, and I don't want any fans to start drawing
Shipping
fucking
things.
insane, but it
It's too late.
You see, there is a romance, I think, to it, not in
Not
a
a
sexual
sexual.
way, but actually in a sexual way when we have big butt sex.
Hey, what Jake and I do is
We have sex.
That's how we write songs. By the end of it,
and it's
Right.
not
fire and
it's not
gasoline.
intense. It's very sensual.
Yes, no,
It's
it's
very
like
sensual.
caring.
And,
Tantric,
and
yeah.
we talk about the band. We're like, we have
Eye
a meeting
contact.
next week while we are in
Well,
the real.
Do you
Yeah.
ever feel like when you're playing like and it clicks, like you just like kind of look at each other, like I don't know if you guys feel this, but like it's like there is a moment where you feel a connection.
Absolutely.
It's like a physical connection within the space of the air
Between our
that
brains.
yeah, and it's physically created by the sound that's being. I know that sounds so lame, but
that's
it is.
true. I
it
was
is-
in a music history class in college, and they were talking about the reason live music is so magical is because when there's a band and there's a whole room of people and there's a beat playing and music playing, everyone's brain waves are synced in the music. So there is a scientific connection
I think the word
between
is-
everyone's brains.
I don't know what I'm on right now. I was gonna say I think the word is testicle. There's a testicle.
What?
to it. No, but I gotta say, I remember the first time that it ever happened. Where are you going?
I guess I'm leading out of
He's afraid of the word testicle.
He's gonna go take a walk with the 75-year-old guy.
He's ready for me to attack him. That happens a lot. But I remember the first time we played. It was with our old drummer, and there's an awesome venue around here called the Velour, and that's where like lots of big bands from Utah, like Imagine Dragons, Neon
Backseat
Trees,
Lovers,
Backseat
anyone
Lovers,
from Utah.
they've played there.
That's where they started.
And we played there, and we headlined or something, and we couldn't believe the feeling. Like we got off, and we were like, "We've made it." Or was it not the headline? Was it the
I think.
headline also though? Remember,
Are you talking about the first time we ever played Velour?
there's the first time, but also the headline.
Yeah, it was the headline. I
The
remember
headline
that show.
We were driving around Provo and just like sucking our own dicks, just being like, dude,
Well, we were like, this is the
awesome.
best thing in the world.
Like,
Because playing music with like people you care about, playing music that
Yeah.
you care about, putting all of your passion into vibrations and song and message is so beautiful.
That's a
It is-
high.
It is magic. It is
You will
unlike
never-
anything else.
yeah,
There's
it's a
something
high
to be
you
said
never
about
drop.
like Yeah, and there's something to be said too about like being so on the same page with those other individuals
Yes.
musically and sensibilities wise, because it's like when you not only like when your brains sync up with that shit we're talking about, but then also you have like a history with these people where like you understand them, so it's like you're bringing all the time and understanding into it too, where it's just like I'll be on bass or you'll be on bass and you're on drums or whatever,
Right.
and like you can sort of feel yourselves making the same decisions
Right.
completely independently because you've played with these people, you know them, you understand their sensibilities, and you all have
Right.
the same sort of vibe with it. So it's like you're actively, consciously feeling the same choice to be made, and you kind of understand what the other person might do, but it's not even that conscious. It's like so not actively thought. It's just like it just sort of happens. You know, it's crazy.
Right.
It taps into the same thing as I'd say meditation, probably, where you
Interesting.
just drop because you're running on muscle memory, obviously.
Yeah,
so
it's
you don't
true,
even need to
huh?
think about this. About you need to. You don't need to think about anything really.
Because
You just go.
when we're just jamming, right? If we're just playing an improv, I'm not actively thinking, okay, I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, no.
You're just in the moment.
You're-
you're just going.
And there's no better feeling, honestly.
It's
know?
incredible.
I find that when I'm playing, like I feel like I play my best, especially like improv or jam wise. I feel like I play my best when I am not thinking about it. Like if I'm in my head trying to be like, I got to make sure I play a good lick or something. Like all of it goes out the window.
Always.
Because it's like
Yes.
the brain power that you're using. Like you then take a certain dedication of brain power, percentage of your brain away from actually doing it to think about what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I got to
Get rid
get
of
that
that.
brain power back to 100% on just my fingers and hands and what's like right in front of me.
Now, the next level would be to, which I think is something maybe all three of us should do, but it's to go like learn how to actually play guitar.
That helps.
And learn different scales and know what, key you're in to play what scales you want, because then you can actually think, I'm going to go do this, and then you can physically do it.
Yeah.
But like right now, I think we're just like in a stage where it's like, those even when you look at like jam bands and stuff, like you can tell when they're having a good show, and it's usually when they're the most relaxed and they're not in their own heads. Even though Jerry Garcia knew way more about the fucking guitar than I ever did, he had off nights, and it was the nights that he was on where I think he was probably just like letting loose, being comfortable, and just being kind of if he was making decisions, they were quick and very intentional. Other than that, I think it was just letting the vibe of whatever was happening in that room just
God
like
take the wheel.
I mean, I think the best show of our last tour was at the House of Blues in Anaheim.
Yeah.
We felt really, really good. The only big bad part was me. There's a very difficult vocal run at the end of Cruel All the Way Down that changes key. It changes key from like a A7 ass into.
I remember
into a
that from the
G.
show. That was impressive. I was like, how does he know where to go with that?
Well, I don't sometimes.
Only some nights.
Yeah. Well, I was nailing it for the first half of the tour, and then and guess what? I got in my head about it because I don't really know why I got in my head about it. I just did, and I just absolutely missed it. So that's like, it was weird. It was never an issue that I had. Like for the first half of the tour, I had no problem with it. But other than House of Blues and a few other shows around that, I couldn't land it. It's frankly horrifying. But other than that, the rest of the show was like unbelievable, because once you're in that state, the audience, I think, easily sinks into that state as well. And that connection between the audience and the band is very, very important.
Yeah. Two-way street.
Because, it's funny. Sometimes you can't decide as a band sometimes. Like you can decide, okay, I'm going to overcome the vibe and I'm going to play the best I can, but you can't ultimately decide what the vibe is going to be. You can only decide your relationship to the vibe, and if the vibe is bad, and of course you walk into a show and there's some weird, like, I don't know, the fucking house guy decided to put on just the worst fucking music of all time before the show starts, and the audience is just really, really weird. That's why we're we are so just fascist about what
Pre-show.
music is played during the pre-show. We have our own playlists, or if we're like on this last tour, we were like doing our own DJ
Out
thing.
there doing like a
Yeah, we're
cue.
like out there in the pre-show, yeah. But if, for some reason we can't do that, we're like, you're playing this, and we put it in our like deal memo, we put it in our agreements, we put it in our rider. So like, because we've had horrible experiences where like we have to literally lift the audience back up from whatever fucking bullshit the fucking sound guy was playing.
So how like passionate we are about this topic right now, where I know in the past we've literally been like, can you just put on Creed's discography actually?
But that's hilarious.
That's what we're
Like,
talking
that's-
about.
But that's because it's hilarious
correct.
and it's ironic, and the crowd is someone's going to pick up on it, and they're going to be in on the joke.
I hear Creed and I'm in public. At first, I start to laugh, and then 2
then
seconds
you're
later,
like-
I'm like, "Hold me now!"
Oh, yeah, dude.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
ask us how we went from haha Creed to actually in the crowd in Chicago.
At Tinley Park, where weathering out the storm. Wow, it was just amazing.
I don't know how deep the Creed knowledge goes on the other side of the screen, but I was in a Ralph's recently. It's a grocery store out in California, and One by Creed came on the speakers in the Ralph's, which is such a random deep cut.
Deep cut.
That is not playing on shuffle. That was a choice that some deep
Someone
cut
was like,
Creed fan
"This
made.
is my favorite Creed song," and I'm playing it in Ralph's.
I've literally never heard it outside the context of us in a fucking minivan
Playing it
together. I'm
off
like,
the CD.
No, I will say one was a relative hit for them.
Was it?
No.
Look, I call relative because it was like higher changed the fabric of DNA, the DNA fabric of culture.
Yes.
But before that,
best they had.
one was like, more successful than any of our fucking songs.
Sure,
like,
sure.
for them,
Like
so-
if we're putting on a scale of like if we're comparing it to Darius Rucker, for example,
Okay.
it's no
Classic Darius Rucker
well
scale.
everyone
of
of
measurement.
course everyone uses the Darius Rucker scale.
Well, are we talking pre or post Hootie? Is this Darius
it's
Rucker?
it's Darius
or is
Rucker.
It
It's not
including
Hootie and the
Hootie and or the Blowfish.
it's not Wagon Wheel. It's not Comeback Song. It's that song that's like, all right. It's that song.
Dude, I almost know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But imagine that coming on in the grocery store. You're like, what? Why?
Like this is a weird song, but
Who's
I
got
like
the
it.
aux?
Man, speaking of your guys' live performance, by the way, watching you guys live is
Oh my gosh.
it's literally one of my favorite live performances both times I've seen you guys.
Yep.
It is incredible.
Thank you.
And every second feels intentional and like you want it to be unique and engaging.
That's the whole point, man.
At the, I mean,
How do you guys decide that, and what kind of work goes into those moments? Like, for example, in the last show that we saw, I forgot which song it was in the middle of that you just started playing Takanaka.
oh yeah, how lucky am I?
Well, I tripped balls in December, and Sky, who was here, may or may not have also been there, and we had like a Spotify jam session or whatever on, and so he took it over and he played O Tengo Suerte, which means "How Lucky Am I" in Spanish, by Masayoshi Takanaka, and I was coming up, and it was the most beautiful song I'd ever like heard in my life. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It was just like, and I never heard it before. That's the best time. It's like when you listen to music you already know. Like I listened to like the Love version of Strawberry Fields Forever during that trip, and I could hear things that I wasn't like super privy to. I was paying attention to things, but it's all the same. But when a brand new song comes at you,
Especially when it's O Tengo Suerte by Takanaka.
I mean, it was like, in the stereo, and so I just couldn't believe, and the fact that it was for free, and the fact that it was O Tengo Suerte, which means "How Lucky Am I," I was like, oh, that's funny, and then it's like, the chord progression is just kind of similar, and so I started singing it, and it worked, and I went, this would be a kind of cool mashup, and so that's how that came about. And
Especially because like Takanaka's kind of in the ether right now. In the last like few years, he's sort of like people are rediscovering him in this new generation of music listeners.
yeah,
like,
well, City Pop has made a huge splash, and he's like an OG grandpa.
Have you guys heard Jesse Wells at all?
Oh yeah, we're huge fans.
Yeah,
And Sky had told me about Oh my God,
Fear's the Mind
Fear's the Mind.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say. That he uses that riff and talks about Takanaka in that song. So cool. There was also
Sky says he's fantastic. He just came in through the room.
what was the song? I think it was during Don't Get Creative, where you
we did, like-
calculator.
like
Autobahn.
yeah, that was
Oh
great.
yeah, Kraftwerk. Well, I love Kraftwerk so much. I've seen them live. It was awesome, and I don't know. We were just like playing. I was just like, I had my shit on shuffle in the tour van one time, and Kraftwerk came on. And it was like, I am the operator of my. And I remember you were like, what the?
I was like,
fuck
what the
is this
fuck are-
fucking song?
It became such a like meme within the group that it was just like it was just already in our brains for so long.
Yeah, and that middle section of Get Creative we always called like the EDM drop because we'd never really done something like that before, and we kind of felt weird, like, you know, making like electronic music because we're like you guys maybe relate to it a little bit, like as kind of like, okay, we're like a rock band, you know, and it's like rock music with guitars, and you know, you go from an A to an A7 to a B to a B minor, you know,
Those Swedish
and-
songwriters.
and it's like whatever, and so.
Instruments.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not to say that I don't love electronic music, and I kind of was like, you know, it would probably be good for us to do a little bit of something like that. And I know Sky for years has been like, put keyboards on the stage, do synthesizers. Come on, you guys are like the Who and Tommy. Be the Who in Who's Next, but also be Today Times. Then people will like, you know, it might branch out beyond niche stuff, I guess. I don't know. I digress. Anyway, so we wanted to do like an EDM sort of thing for that part. And it was very much influenced by a DJ artist named LP Joby, who does like a lot of like Grateful Dead EDM things. Like she'll take Grateful Dead songs and make like house music. So she has like an event that she tours called like Dead House, which is just like, you know, you drop Molly or whatever you want, and you just are in.
Making EDM and the Grateful Dead is just every single stoner's dream.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable.
Unites all
Yeah.
stoners.
So that was a huge influence of that part, and I don't know how I thought of it or got the. I think the three of us were just hanging out, and I'm just like, it would be hilarious if we just like, no, because you were playing the Skrillex song.
Oh, Reptiles theme.
Yeah, the Reptiles theme, and I was like, that would be so funny. It was like, you know, because the drop is hope that your God takes everything away. Like that would just be so funny. And then the whole thing was like, and so our Ableton engineer, a wonderful individual named Dylan Bowman. Yeah, let's hear
from Dylan Bowman.
Shout out Dylan Bowman.
And he's also like an EDM artist, so we asked him, I'm like, can you take like a half an hour and just design the wackest EDM shit you've ever made in your life? And
40 seconds of the wackest drop.
and it was so fun. Like he did this thing with the subs that were so crazy that no sub on the tour could like handle. It was like
I was a little worried we were going to destroy
blow some
subwoofers.
speakers. It was so funny. And then we did Pocket Calculator, and like it just kept going. Like we just, because all of our bits are us making each other laugh. You know what I mean? It's like
That's why it's fun to watch.
It's
That's
important.
why it's enjoyable for the audience.
Because we were like, we
Thank
wanted
you.
to do this bit like with the.
Thank
Yes, absolutely. We wanted it to be this bit of like engaging the audience, but in a way that was like silly and fun. We were like, oh, what if we like handed out 3D glasses to everyone? And
yeah,
there's
the
this bit
idea
where it's
was
like,
everyone was going to have 3D glasses. Like
and
we
it's
would pass out 3D
glasses
glasses,
on now.
but that was going to be like a $1,500 endeavor for the tour, and we were like,
Actually, it's
the
funnier.
audience would give the glasses
Well,
back. Like, people
yeah.
are
to put that in perspective, that's 7 nights in a hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so do we want 7 nights in a hotel, or do we want everyone to have 3D glasses maybe
But
at every
then
show?
we
And
just
the answer was
realized-
no, we're not going to do that. But what if we put on the 3D
Yeah, we were like,
glasses?
it's just fun. It's funnier and better actually if the TV says put on your 3D glasses now, and no one had. They've not been given any, so we just put them on ourselves, and we're like, well, so how do we make the 3D bit? Oh, we just got in the crowd and go like, woo, woo, at people with 3D glasses on our heads.
And it's so fun.
We're like,
And
unfortunately, we're doing that now.
it was funny from town to town because some people like got it, you know. some people were just bewildered. They were like, "What the fuck what the fuck are they doing?"
But at the end of the day, you win no
So
matter what,
yeah,
because it's
who
like
cares?
now the audience is engaged and they're laughing and having a good time with you, and they're going like, "What is happening in front of me?"
Break some of those walls down that audiences can have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's also just been such a mission statement of the band too, to be like, how can we elevate the experience of seeing like a band in a club? Just like some guys you maybe don't even know or care about, like what can we do to engage people and capture their attention in a positive and fun way, and do something different than every other band that gets up on a stage is doing, you know?
Yeah.
The thing is, like we've seen a lot of bands that do a lot of unique things, and it always kind of yeah.
Well, I was just seeing if Casey would look at me.
Yes.
Well, we've seen.
If you could tell, I was looking at.
That is kind of like it. Kind of worked though. It totally did. But so, like I've seen a lot of bands do like a lot of unique things, but like sometimes it's like it comes off, and I maybe it comes off with us like this, but I hope it doesn't, because I feel like we're not doing it to be proud of ourselves because we are an entertaining band to the audience. You know what I mean? So we like literally like the audience, and we've played shows where there is no audience. Like Telluride, Colorado on this last tour, it was like 9 people. It was a show right before the Salt Lake City show. There's like 9 people there. A couple like hardcore fans. That was cool. But it was like no one was there. So we did all these bits, and it's just like, because at the end of the day, like we do it for us, and we have a good time, and there's like closeness, like we're brothers. But I see a lot of bands that will like, I don't know, like a band, I don't even remember
Name
their
drop
names.
'em.
No, I don't remember their name, but like
Post them on the internet. We'll tag them in a reel.
like,
Dox them, yeah, exactly.
people will like, I
They
don't
live
know,
at-
do something where they like are kind of standing there, but then they'll like bring out a mannequin and then just like stab the mannequin over and over again. It's just like, okay, that's a thing, but it's like it's like they seem very proud of themselves that they did something theatrical as opposed to it being like kind of natural.
It's almost like, yes, that worked. Where I feel like it's like with
And
us,
it's like it's a lot of. I think I know exactly who you're talking about, by the way. But
If you do,
I
that'd be
was
crazy.
referencing someone, I know a band that does that as a gimmick.
My Chemical Romance. Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck those guys.
But there are. Speaking of their most recent performance,
It's awesome.
They did gimmicks, but it didn't feel
It's just-
like the theatrics were. Oh, we're gonna do this as a gimmick. It felt like they did it because they were like,
We
"Oh,
are
we
us."
want to do this."
What it all boils down to, I think, when it's a live show, or whether it's like posting TikToks, like you guys, like obviously we're all no strangers here, but it's like there's something to be said about doing it for the sake of doing it, whether it's a bit or what have you, and there's something to be said about like it all boils down to genuineness, right? It's like you can do something that's funny or that other people have done that has worked, but then you try and reciprocate or try and do it and try and flop on. We've fallen into that trap a few times where it's like, oh, we're being reactive instead of proactive, and then it's like, oh, and then you take a step back and it's like, we as guys, as Toxhards, as whatever, like we would never post or do something like this in a show or whatever. Like it's not us. And the second we realign and go, like you said, it's just bits that we like, shit that makes us laugh and shit that we think is entertaining or funny. That is what does well online, or what people resonate with live, and that's it's all people can clock. People can smell that disingenuousness from 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So it's like you just gotta be true to yourself.
It's all about dedicating. Like your intent is just that people enjoy themselves. Like that's all you want, is that people to have fun and enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
If you do a gimmick or you make TikToks and reels for, like, if your intention is I'm doing this so I get popularity, no one's gonna latch onto it.
Right.
Yeah.
If you do it from a place of like, sometimes we'll be making TikToks and we'll post videos that like I'll look at and I'll go, that's not gonna do well. I know that isn't
Yeah,
gonna do well,
but we like
it
it.
makes me laugh. And it makes me so happy to make
And
that
then
I'm
it doesn't
just
do
doing
well.
it anyway.
We
And
feel
I
so
like
seen right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but also, I will say, to play devil's advocate, specifically for social media, we do definitely just make videos that were like, this is just for popularity. but
Oh,
we
for
never
sure.
do anything that's like we don't want to do this. If that makes
I mean,
sense.
Right.
it's you never compromise yourself. I mean, it's like like John and Paul. They're like, hey, let's write ourselves a swimming pool, but they're not going to write some bullshit that they hate. You know what I mean? They're going to write something that they like, but they also know they can't write Revolution 9 or whatever. Like they're going to write Can't Buy Me Love. So it's like as long as you like it, who cares?
Yes. Yes.
And we've kind of fallen into that trap a lot, actually over the last year because like we got signed and we were making the record and to be honest, it was like, when we released like Angus and Doom Bop, it was just like we weren't thinking about like how are we going to promote it. It's just like, okay, we're here at like the location of the music video. Just shoot a stupid little fun video. Oh, let's go like gold. Just shoot it. Yeah, whatever. Like I will say the wedding one, I did know that could have potential. That was my sister's wedding, and I was like, for those who don't know, the reason our band exists is because of this one. The reason our band has like any sort of, I guess, notoriety. Now, I will say we were working on signing with Hopeless before the wedding TikTok.
Okay.
Actually, the day after the wedding is when we actually signed the agreement.
Like
That's
at the Airbnb.
Like literally, yeah, we were at the Airbnb in Michigan, and we signed it digitally.
I think that TikTok is how I found your band.
Yeah,
Wow, there you go.
and serendipitously, like less than a month later, post this TikTok. Now I didn't fight with my sister to play Angus at the wedding, but I had to convince her, and I was like, if this is played at the wedding, it will potentially do big fat numbers, and I actually don't even know who shot it. I think Amanda shot it, but I actually don't know who is responsible for that. Maybe it was probably Amanda, but like I also have a memory of it being like,
Wasn't it Sam or something?
maybe Sam or my brother Sam. I'm not sure, but
If you're listening and you shot the Angus wedding video, please let us know.
let us know. We'll Venmo you $5. But
Someone named Daryl.
so it's like that has the potential to do something, and you have to be like kind of cognizant of that sort of stuff. However, there's also the trap that we kind of fell into, like after we gotten signed and after we gotten a boatload of followers, which is still like we're still like under 100,000, which I'll tell you guys, when you're trying to negotiate like with like venues and stuff, it really helps to have over 100,000 followers on Instagram, because then people go like, oh, 3 numbers in a K. It's like it literally like when we went from once it was a 10K, after a 9,000 followers and a 10K, like all of a sudden like venues started responding.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. So we kind of fell into a bit of a trap, I think, after that, because we would be putting out these songs and we're just like, well, let's just go out and like perform it. We're like overperforming and, just trying to go like somewhere that's pretty and like, trying to make it like look nice and whatever. And there was a weird disingenuousness to all of it. Yeah. And none of those videos took off. And then we're like, well, is it because are the songs bad? Is it because the videos are bad? And I think we were kind of lucky with a song like Doom Bop or like How Lucky Am I? I think without realizing it, we had written a song. We had written songs that were kind of TikTokable. They just start. There's no intro. There's no like. There's no dropping into like. Oh, and here's like the chorus. You'll be married in a year. It's like it's not the beginning of the song. The beginning of the song just goes. How lucky am I?
I also think that like there's something to be said about the music and the sentiment of the lyrics and the intent of the song that was like extremely relatable for people too. Like it was coming from a place of genuineness about our experiences and the experiences of people we know. So it's like that was like one of the reasons I do think the first How Lucky video did so well is because the lyrics were on the screen at frame 1, and so within half a second a viewer's brain has read the lyric and gone, how lucky am I that I can afford to be alive? Oh, wow, I feel that, and then they've already decided to stick around because their brain read it immediately, so having that content in the song that people can connect to too.
And that was like, that's all. None of that was engineered. None of that was thought of. I wasn't sitting there with my guitar going, I'm going to write a song that like
I'm gonna write
go
this
up on
song of the
TikTok.
summer.
I didn't know what TikTok was
The
really.
algorithm will like,
You
and
know what?
people will relate to, and it'll hook
No,
people.
you don't do that. Everyone will. No one. That'll never work.
You can see through it.
And if it does work, you're a sociopath.
There are bands. I will say there's a band that I'm not going to call out on the internet, but there's a band that I'm thinking of that I can tell that they do that they write music for the algorithm, and it does work for them.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
damn it.
But it's like, do they like that? Because a lot of people like.
I know for a fact that they do not like that music
we
from
talked-
an inside source.
We talked about it, me and you, Alan, at the at the last show.
I know exactly. Yeah, I know who exactly you're talking
When
about.
we were saying, like, you know, everyone has a price, and you know, if you got millions of dollars, I said maybe I might be fine just going on stage and singing some shit I don't like and doing shit I don't like. But I was like, I don't know, and you were like, well, then what's the point? Where's the art? You know, that's
it
you're not
sounds terrible.
free at that point.
Yeah, it sounds, because then if you want to do, like, I look at an artist like Tears for Fears, they you know, they made pop music, you know, but even when you listen to those, like if you listen to songs in the Big Chair, like, you know, the one that has fucking
Everybody wants to rule
everyone
the
wants.
world.
There's a song on there called "The Working Hour," like a 7-minute fucking like saxophone weird ass kind of thing, and then you listen to another, you know, hit from that record, Head Over Heels. It ties into another song, like a live version of a song that was on earlier the record. It's like the coda of it. So it's like they were kind of getting, you know, weird with it, but they were also like, okay, time to pay the bills. You know? And I don't know if they love Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It kind of feels like that they don't. But then the next record they made was The Seeds of Love, and that album is fucking unbelievable. I mean, it's like Beatles worship and like R&B and soul worship and just very forward-thinking, like weird art pop stuff that was combining so many different eras of 21st century like music at that point. And it's a really cool kind of experimental record, and it did well because they were big. But I just the problem is with artists now that create this niche of, you know, because they just want to be like stars, you know what I mean? And there is something to be said about like there's no bands, you know. It's like Youngblood's a guy and he's awesome. I love Young, but it's like who are the best rock bands?
There really aren't any rock
is a
bands
guy.
out there.
We were
Yeah.
trying so hard to think. Like, I feel like we were like Turnstile is like one of the main ones.
There's Turnstile.
Emil and the Sniffers, I really
Oh
love.
yeah, Emil and the Sniffers.
But that's also
absolutely.
still who gives a fuck about the Sniffers? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah, that's
it's-
true.
it's-
You know,
it-
good point. I can
who's in the
picture-
Crickets? You know, it's
Emil.
Buddy Holly and who the fuck else? Like, and the Crickets. Who are the fucking? I don't know who the Crickets are, but I know who Buddy Holly is. You know, then you Idols, I guess.
Yeah, Idols.
Creed.
They're very like ensemble notoriety.
You
sort of
know,
thing.
so
Beartooth, that's just one guy.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Tame
No,
Impala infamously is just one guy to the point where it's a fucking meme. Phoebe Bridgers, you know, it just, the list goes on and on. It's and I wonder if it's because
McCartney.
Paul, yeah,
Fuck that guy.
but I wonder if it's because like record companies are like, well, you know, or maybe managers and agents, they don't want to share the money with multiple people in one entity. They
Yeah.
want to share it with like one person, and so, you know, it's just easier.
Probably
And it's
the
probably the more money they don't invest into artists. And I'm talking about like big record companies. We're really, really fortunate to be with a record company like Hopeless
We
Records,
got
who
some
is
great teams. Too.
like, we gave them Your Neighborhood, this fucking album that is 16 tracks, and half of them are these stupid ass interludes. And they went, thank you. No
That's
notes.
got awesome head.
Yeah. I mean, also, all of those songs are about to be released on an EP. That's going to be like CD only, and then we're talking to Hopeless right now. But what we want to do is like buy a bunch of the records wholesale and the CDs wholesale, sign them, take the art books that we've made, and just like put the CDs and the art book in the record, and like it's like the deluxe package, you know. And they're cool for the like we're still negotiating with them, like, you know, with stuff like that. But like they're cool to like do stuff like that. Like I can't.
They're
imagine
always willing to hear whatever the fuck idea.
Yeah,
we
like
have.
like we have the Toxhards by the Toxhards was a vinyl only release of every single we had put out, plus the song,
which was
quarter two.
half music that we had made with the label and half music that we still own independently. So
Yeah.
we had to come up with a deal so that everyone was cool with like them sort of printing these things that we own the rights to. It was like a whole thing, but they were down. They just like
Still able to keep the rights and the royalties and revenue from those songs, even on the Toxhards like vinyl release too.
Yeah. So yeah, we basically they just gave us a bunch of product for free to sell, and then they and we're like, so we like signed a bunch of them, sold them at like an upcharge on the road, and that literally, like, if people bought 2 records of that, like we get to eat and sleep that night, you know. Yep. And it's great, you know. We're I'm absolutely like an anti-capitalist, but if anyone's gonna, you know, point a finger at us and go, hey, at you know 3 starving artists and 3 fucking, you know, extra, you know, people on the road trying to help the starving artists just try to get from fucking show to show. Like, I don't know if there's really a
that is anti-capitalist of you, because like I feel like the most anti-capitalist thing someone could do is give their hard-earned money to a starving artist who is like just trying to get by, instead of spending their money on like a Phoebe Bridgers record, right? Or
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I dropped so much fucking money at merch stands, as these guys know. I spend so much money on fucking tickets. Like, I you know, as a music fan, I'm like, I know like what people are willing to pay for this, you know, sometimes, and our fans are unbelievable. I mean, they're so passionate. Like, you know, we are. I think it's kind of scary knowing that we are like in the beginnings of like a true cult band. People, as you saw, like people dress up, you know, as characters from our songs, and you know, we play for 2 hours straight, and no, like very rarely do people leave. People were leaving on this last tour because we went way over 2 hours sometimes.
Yeah, it was like 2.5, 2:45.
and it was actually bad for business. Like when people leave, like they don't stop by the merch stand on their way out. They're just like, I'm tired, I'm leaving. So we're gonna so what we're gonna do on this next tour is we're gonna shorten the set list by about 20-30 minutes, but the set list is going to be completely different in a completely different order every night, and you're going to have to.
I was so disappointed when you guys had to get cut off at Kilby, though.
Yeah,
that was a bummer.
Fuck them.
I was feeling it.
Fuck 'em.
And those Salt Lake City bastards cut you off.
I know. I love Kilby though. That's such a fucking awesome room. But
legendary.
but I guess what I was. Oh my! The art of circling back.
We're just fortunate, man. We're so fortunate.
Fortunate with the fans and everything. I will say with your neighborhood, it was we still haven't really found a way to promote the album in the fun TikTok way. Like, how do you? You know, it's a
concept album that talks about like death
and self-betterment.
I mean, I'm just thinking out loud now. Like, maybe we just have to fucking. Like maybe it's just as simple as like, you know, sitting in front of the camera, like holding the record, like we did it, like it's out.
And it could be that
we
simple.
made a concept album.
You never know with the algorithm.
You never know.
And you like the same video. It's down to even like I'll see people like a video that's gone viral or something, and if it's intriguing and I check out their profile, I'll see that video posted 3 times prior to the one that popped off, and they'll have no views. You know, it's like sometimes it's literally down to just when you posted it. You know,
you guys are like
you guys are god tier posters.
You guys are god tier posters. I mean, the fucking where did you get the idea to spray fucking Febreze or whatever right before you? Oh my gosh, that's genius. That's such a genius fucking way to get.
That was Jake's idea. Just like that was
it was your idea because I said hold something, because right now what's popping off if you scroll through is everyone's either doing this, clapping right at the camera,
or holding an object.
Holding something.
I was about to say you hold your little microphone. I'm like that. I associate the little microphone with you guys so hard now.
That's brilliant.
We do a lot of this, you know. Like,
yeah.
At the camera at the beginning, but that's what's kind of popping off.
Yes.
And so I said,
so
hold
funny.
something. And he sprayed the Febreze, and it fucking
And with
worked.
the spraying the Febreze too,
You get comments.
the random object it's like that's an engagement farm because then people go, why the fuck is he holding Febreze?
Yeah.
It's so
And
it's
that
it's
comment has
so
like 1,000
funny.
likes now. You know?
Yeah.
Dude.
And then it just is more, and there's also that one too is like, we tried to, okay, how can we post a Smiths cover? No one's gonna sit, people are just gonna scroll if they hear someone sing the Smiths.
Yeah.
So if I'm just yelling and holding Febreze and then I start singing,
so funny, dude. It's
so good.
It's like that. That was inspirational to us. I'm like, it's like I feel old now because like we were doing the TikTok thing in like 2021, which makes us. It might as well have been 1835. You know, like we're like, oh, this
So
is how
true.
you get on the thing. And you know, I just turned fucking 30 this year, so it's like I'm like, you know, it's like it's like that fucking Father John Misty song, you know, by this afternoon I'll be in debt, and by tonight I'll be replaced by children, you know, and but I mean that was so brilliant. It like lit a fire under my ass. I was like, oh, okay, I've got so. And we also just like, by the way, congrats today. I saw fucking Glass Animals fucking stitched one of your TikToks.
I saw that
That's
too.
sick.
That was
Oh my
nuts.
god, dude, that's fucking great. Well, use that, please. Like that's gonna, you know, just that's
Did you
fucking
get
awesome.
Funny Radke stitched me once and made
Yeah,
fun of me.
bro.
I remember that shit. That was so good.
But I think the craziest thing, I've said this before about the Ronnie Radke thing, he stitched you, but he made fun of you and said, listen to my band, we suck. And I was like, yes! I was like, I was like, are you fucking stupid? You just advertised for us. You gave us the biggest platform that we've gotten
Well,
so far.
it
It's
really
like-
could not have worked out better for us because then people were in his comment section being like, wait, no, homestyle dinner rolls is good. Like, don't make fun of homestyle dinner rolls.
Yeah.
It's the same principle as when fucking Ben Shapiro posts outside a movie theater like just saw Superman, it was terrible. It's like, okay, so you know it's a certified heater, you know?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, okay, so Superman's going to be a great movie.
Exactly.
Because Ben,
Dead ass. I was not interested until he was like, it's terrible. I'm like, oh, now I gotta.
Well,
fucking
now I gotta
see it.
go to the cinema.
I also, it's like Green Day, he said Green Day makes, he said, if you can even call that music. And I'm like, okay, well, that's why everyone likes Green Day, because you fucking said it sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Who doesn't like Green Day?
Who doesn't
what do you
like
guys
Green-
think? We probably should wrap up fairly soon, but how about some listener questions for you guys?
Oh
'Cause I
my
saw
god,
some-
Sure.
I forgot about that. Dude,
We've just been having such, and they're also like,
but wait.
as a genuine fan of your music and your art.
Yeah, it's
there are just so
wonderful.
many questions that I personally wanted to ask.
Wait,
you.
can I ask one? And I'm sure it's going to come up, but, and you've probably explained this, but where did you get the name?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
here we
name
go.
is hilarious. It's an inside joke, like everything with the band.
Take a
inside
step back
jokes.
in time, if you will, to the year 2018.
What, you want to take this over, Casey?
Sure.
I
oh,
say.
fuck.
To put this into perspective, in 2018, I was 17 years old.
I don't want to know that.
That's fried. So yeah, 2018. We were, as we say, we met in the theater club at film school. So we were really cool, and it was very low budget theater club, but Sky wrote a show called an abomination of a show called Richard Nixon's Big Adventure.
The sky that has been walking in and out of the room.
That's a recurring theme for you guys.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it all goes back
It all
to
goes
here.
back
It
to
all goes
Richard
back to-
Nixon.
Yeah, Richard Milhouse fucking Nixon.
So he wrote this bastardization of a show about it's the true story of the Watergate scandal, and I played Richard Nixon. His wife Amanda played my wife Pat Nixon. He wrote the music. Sky wrote the show. So it's like
And I would invite him to come just
I
like
would-
be in the show for a night. Like
we
like
did-
John Lennon was in the show, and I'm just like, you dress up as John Lennon, I'll dress up as John Lennon, and it'll just be two John Lennons in the show.
because there's the theater department that puts on the real shows, and they're very strict and artsy. We were like we're all the theater department rejects. So we're doing whatever the fuck we want in a lecture hall. So that was it was Richard Nixon's Big Adventure. It was a whole semester of Nixon, and he had texted me that he was like, oh, one of the reference tracks for the title track, Richard Nixon's Big Adventure, upload it in the Dropbox, learn it when you can. But if you look at a keyboard, RIC is right next to TOX. And in just a flurry of whatever, it didn't autocorrect. So he said, Toxhard Nixon's Big Adventure is in the Dropbox. And then it said, Toxhard, what the fuck? And I was in class, and I was like, I don't know why I thought it was so fucking funny, but I was like, and it turned into... Now, the production process of this show was a bit of a clusterfuck. Difficult to say the least. But it turned into it was just the inside joke of the time, and it was like, if we had a really good rehearsal and everybody's on their shit today. Okay, that was a very Richard rehearsal. That was awesome. And then be like, but then on the bad nights, which were more often than not, you go, oh, how was tonight's rehearsal? Bro, it fucking talks hard as fuck. Oh, it was so fucking Toxhard. Like, we would literally wrap out of rehearsals at like midnight. We were like, we got to go to the bar, then we got to go to my backyard and debrief around the fire so it was like this very fraught time. We're all like overwhelmed, but like
born out of it was so much camaraderie.
Exactly. When it was all over, we're like, wow, I'm gonna miss it. We're like, well, we're gonna miss sitting around the fire, eating dominoes, drinking beers, and talking shit. But we at the summer after that, he had already graduated, and I was sticking around for another year, and it was like, so we hung out a bunch that summer, and that was I had. My mom was getting rid of her old car, an old Saturn Vue, so I went out to Indiana to drive it back to California, and I was leaving my dad's house, and he was like, "Oh, is there like any shit that would be like too much to like that'd be like to like fly or like to ship out for $1 billion?" And I was like, literally on a whim, as I was walking out the door, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my fucking drum kit and see what happens, because I was living in a converted garage at the time. And so there's no insulation.
It's not like
awesome.
legally sustainable for human
Converted
inhabitants.
garage, yeah, that's wild. I don't even know
it was.
But it meant you had like square footage.
I had
bro.
square footage. It was like a studio apartment, but without a bathroom.
Hey, you poop on the floor?
You just shit out the windows.
His dog did have like diarrhea on the wall.
Yeah, it was great.
Projectile on.
My favorite is when you would talk about like the like poop being right in front of the door. So when you get home, you open the door and just like a windshield
over the fucking
just paint the floor.
The good old days. But and it was funny because there's the garage. The garage was the garage, and then it was technically a workshop behind the garage, so it had like a ramp down from the door where you could like bring a car in to work on or whatever, and she would like piss at the top of the ramp if she had an accident, and it would just or shit, and on the worst thing it would just fucking avalanche down, and it was awesome. It was great.
So anyway,
when there wasn't piss and shit in there, we were in there. And I was like, oh, you guys, I just brought back my drum kit from fucking Indiana. I was like, let's get together and jam. And we wrote some of the worst songs you've ever heard in your life. And then my roommate, she was having a birthday party. And I was like, please let us play. I was like, we'll play any song you want us to play. And we'll just like, we'd been jamming. So we were kind of like itching to do something. And, the video's still out there, but we got shut down after one song. The punk ass neighbor was like, I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, it's 8 p.m., you fucking nerd. But she was like 89 or whatever. But but no. But yeah, so it was like that's how it all started, and we were like, oh, we're gonna play in front of people for the first time.
What are we called?
We need a band name. And we were like, oh, that's the inside joke of the month.
The Toxhards.
How about the Toxhards? We'll change it when we need to.
We come up with a real one.
Did anyone ever make the quite obvious joke like I'm Tox hard, like the erection joke?
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
Oh, all the
It's-
time.
yeah.
People make their own merch and stuff. It's just like I am like I'm so Tox hard right now or something, like, you know. It's like a
Dude, the fucking we'll change it when we need to is so real.
So real, dude.
Because like we came up with home style dinner rolls when we were 15.
wow.
Bread aisle.
He
of
was
a
in the
fucking
bread aisle.
grocery
I wasn't
store.
even in the band.
Jake wasn't even in the band. It was my dumbass, fucking like 9th grade, and I was like, "Home style dinner rolls is such a cool name."
Awesome.
And then I was like, oh, we'll change it before we become a real band.
Well,
Fuck
it-
Perfect.
7 years later.
It was one of those things where it was like we were like, oh, we're the Toxhards, whatever, and I knew a band in high school. They were a really good metal band and everything, and had some regional popularity at the time. But they were lamenting because they were called, their band name was just Infamous, and they were like, Infamous. You go to Google, you go, oh, Infamous band, Indianapolis. And you got to like, and it's like 7 pages of Google results. So it's like, oh, and after once we started actually posting and shit and releasing music, it ended up being like a pretty good thing to be like, okay, no one, this is a made up fucking word. We will be #1 on page 1.
It is
everywhere you go.
It is hard to like say the word.
People know how it's like even spelled when you say it. You have to spell it.
People are always like, "What's your band name?" I go, "Toxhards." TOXHARDS.
Yeah, always, because I'm not gonna say it here, but they'll put the T right before the A. They're like the ox, and I'm like, no.
You're like, no.
So and that's always a little frustrating, but like I don't know. It's like, I mean, it's also kind of a dumbass name, but like I'm not gonna lie, the Beatles like beats in our music. It's a shitty name. Who cares? As long as it fucking
and Hot Chili Pepper.
And it kind of makes us sound, I think, like a punk band too, because it sounds like Toxic Hard. You know what I mean? Like, or like a metal band or something. And then like, you know, there's but I do think I'm excited for the next record because we do kind of want to get back on some like Weird Angus shit on that. I think we got very serious with the Your Neighborhood, concept album, sort of thing. And we love it. We're really proud of it. Like,
we're itching to get like weird and proggy and stuff again.
Yeah. So
prog meets Talking Heads meets
like desert rock,
outlaw country sort of thing.
Talking Heads, that fucking bit you did at the last show,
dude. Yeah,
dressed as Angus, dressed as David Byrne.
Yeah,
I was
did the dance.
This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was.
If I was high, I would lose my fucking mind.
One of my favorite moments.
I was.
One of my favorite moments was when we were on tour with the Mummies, and there was a show where a guy came up to us afterwards at the merch stand who was there to see the Mummies, and he said that when we were doing the pig song, when we were doing Angus, he was like, that was right when the mushrooms kicked in, bro. And I was like, oh, that I need to know everything about how you felt during that.
How it made you feel. See, the problem we have, you mentioned Google. The problem that most people were telling me, they said, you got to change your name. And it came out of a place of love, even though they're completely wrong. They said, you got to change your name because people are going to look up homestyle dinner rolls and it's going to be bread. And guess what happens when you look up homestyle dinner rolls? Not that. That doesn't happen.
No, it's true. It's you.
We're beating out local bakeries one step at a time.
Especially if you put band, you come up immediately.
Like initially for us,
you have no problem.
When we were starting out and putting stuff online, like when you tried to talk, like we were not searchable at the beginning. It was like, did you mean Richard? And all the results are like Richard related. No. But then after a little while, once you have enough like individual items that are searchable that exist on the internet, it starts to go, oh, okay, it's this, and now you own that
SEO, baby.
Exactly.
Anyway, so what are the people saying?
Yes. Okay.
Dude,
so
wait, we should try a lightning round. You want to try a lightning round? Are you down for that?
We probably should.
This is media training right here.
See if we can even do that.
So should we go like in order? Like you do something very quick, I do something very quick, you do something.
That's
very quick?
fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through these.
All right.
You met at film school. When did you realize you wanted to make music instead?
Ooh, that definitely has to be also going back to the theater club when we did a staged adaptation of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that any of us like played music together, because there was, it's a concept album that we adapted to the stage. I mean, I say we, I was just in it. But like I played Pink, so I was up on stage through the whole show, and
he did the Comfortably Numb solo,
and it was a live band too. It wasn't just like playback that we were doing things along to. It was we did an actual live band up in the rafters of this lecture hall, and Casey was on drums for the first time since high school. Alan, who was directing the show, was also on bass, and we had other collaborators of ours and friends of ours in the band as well. But when it came down to the Comfortably Numb like climax of the show, I'm playing the guitar solo, Casey's on the drums, Alan's on bass, and our friends are playing music, and we doing that time and time again, we kind of went like, that's kind of fun when we do the music playing together.
Oh yeah.
And so we were like, what if we just started like jamming, hanging out, and doing that?
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
And history was made.
Where I decided, even though I went to film school, I wanted to do music. It was actually the whole time. I just didn't admit it to myself. I rolled up with 2 suitcases to my freshman year. I had one full of clothes and the other was full of CDs and records. Like literally the whole thing. I did not. I brought like a DSLR, but I brought like 3 guitars to film school. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I was. It felt like I was rolling up to the wrong fucking function. I'm happy to say I did make like my day job is out of my film school career. Like I work on a really big like TV show. Seasonally too, which works out really well. And I'm in a union, the whole thing. I got health insurance. It's very, very. I'm very, very fortunate. I made the most I could have out of that degree by also leaving the degree. I actually because I wanted to be like an editor, and I went to a narrative show because I work in reality TV, and I went to a narrative show. I'm like, I'm finally gonna do it, and I hated it. I actually really didn't like being in that world, and I was like, because it was also coinciding with the band kind of taking off a little bit. Obviously we're not at the point that we are full time, but I was like, oh no, I would rather just continue to do what I was doing in reality because I work with a really great team, like one of the best teams in Hollywood on that particular show, and so I get to do that as my day job, and then I get to go on tour and record music. So I think the whole time I wanted to actually do music, I didn't really admit it to myself, honestly, until I went on that narrative show and
you're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I called. I mean, you can't do it when you're in college, right? That's way too scary. That's way.
I have a bit here.
You made the wrong choice.
Just gonna say the word testicle again?
No, I have a bit. And it's not the word testicle. I was trying to figure out how to phrase it in my head, but I was going to say something like, going to film school with 3 guitars is like wearing a shirt that says, I care about human life, and working at United Health.
Yeah, dead ass. It was just wrong. It was just wrong. And you can't make, like I said, you can't make that decision in college. It's too much. It's too much on the line. But I am, once again, like I didn't, totally put it to waste or anything. I work in that industry, and I wanted to get in the union. That was a huge goal of mine. It was a 5-year goal. I was able to do it in like less than 2. So I'm a fortunate. I should write a song about how lucky am I. And
on the contrary, I never realized I wanted to do music. I fucking hate music. I still want to make movies. So that's that's the long and short of it. No, but
you're trapped in a horrible existence.
You're like that TikTok you made where the guy, I was laughing so hard where it's like that one band member who's just a fucking dick, and he's like, yeah, you guys were great tonight. And he's like, yeah, if you like the sound of shit.
But no, it's a lot of fun. It's less about, because like music, TV, film, it's all under the same umbrella, it's all entertainment, it's all fun. And it's like I had, in college, like making the movies we made in college, I had a lot of fun working with my team back then on our thesis film and junior year film, and everything is great. And it's less so about like what you're doing and what you're making, and more so about who you're making it with. So it's like, and we still get to flex it, like we make 1,000 music videos, and get to flex the degree then. And it's like we're still on set, we're still shooting, we're still having fun. And it's like at the end of the day, it's creating something you're proud of and that you can show people, and people go, wow. And you're like, yeah, we made that with 12 cents in a dream, So it's like
the performance element of it for you.
Right,
too,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, these guys are the geniuses in the when it comes to the music and the process and the mixing and the writing and all that stuff. And I'm like, what I get the most out of this is when we're on the road, when we're touring, when we're performing on stage and playing and everything. That's where I like it. But
I think you're a genius too. Okay,
in my own right.
Well, look, I mean, Emerson, for the most part, and then my help a little bit too. Like Angus, right? Like he wrote it.
Exactly.
Like, and he's playing gung 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 on a piano.
Plunking it
And he's
out
like,
on
"Can
piano.
you play these notes but metal?" And we go, "Yeah."
I go,
we
make
can do
it
that."
sound good. And then people, and then they make it sound good, and he puts horns and shit on it, and they arrange everything in a way. And then people go, "Wow, Casey, you're such a genius." And I go, "I know."
That's the best,
I
bro.
am Paul McCartney.
I said, "I'm just waiting to cut loose this dead weight over here and go solo."
Ringo with
That goes-
Octopus's Garden, and like George Harrison's fucking solo on that song is like one of his best solos ever. And it's like Ringo's like, "Yes, I did that."
Like they recorded the They recorded the entire choir and like the entire like funk car chase sequence like thing all in the basement, just them two out in Michigan. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe this all came from my mind.
You're like, wow. Well, hell yeah, man.
I will say the best part about, I think, where we all stand in terms of our film education and the dedication to the band is that it all works because you just basically want to be a producer to this day, right? And he produces the music. I go, can you? I need locations. Here's a budget. Here's the script. Here's a shot list of what we need. Can you go and he finds the locations. He makes the calls. He negotiates the prices. He creates the schedules, and he trusts me, to like direct it in a way that we're going to be on schedule. I don't know how cameras work. He does. And I don't really like editing anymore. I don't know if he does, but he's really good at it. And he's way better at it than I ever was. So it's like it works.
Exactly.
It all works. It works. So we came off the fall tour last year with several thousand extra dollars that we were not planning on making. And we're like, wow, should we pay for another couple months of rent, or should we get a camera package to shoot our own music videos? And that's what we got. We got a 6K Blackmagic.
Package is always all the money we've ever made. We just buy new toys. Like the motherfuckers right here.
Yeah.
Till the end of time.
It's the way. So it's like what I really like about it is the film school did not go to waste. We still get to flex and honestly, I think make content through the band that would have way bigger of an audience if we were just trying to do it ourselves without a band and just trying to make short films or like whatever, submit them to dingus festivals.
And it's different too. And it's like, when you look at the nuts and bolts reality of what it is, like I still like my day job, I'm like doing like permits and shit for, just like going around neighborhoods being like, hey, they're filming fucking Criminal Minds down the street. Do you care? And then do it and I've done a bunch of PA stuff and like Alan saying, doing AE stuff for the big TV shows. It's like, that's the reality of like a job in the entertainment industry. It's a lot more fulfilling, maybe not financially, but it's a lot more personally fulfilling to be like, okay, we are going to put our brain power together to make something that we really like and want to do.
Yeah, and shout out to Joe Santos. He's a coworker of mine on my TV show, and he plays Adam in all the music videos because he wants to be an actor. Well, he doesn't want to be an actor. He is an actor. He's a great actor. He has ambitions for his acting career, and I have ambitions with this the band thing, and we just put him together, and he's amazing. And also shout out to Courtney Simpson, who plays
Courtney
Beatrice. Courtney Outland. She just got married, and she was Beatrice in all the music videos, and she's a once in a lifetime talent in so many different areas, and in dancing and acting and performing. It's just like and behind the scenes stuff as well. She's like a prodigy. It's amazing. We're very lucky to be surrounded by so many talented individuals, as well as being in a band with talented individuals.
Those careers in the film industry is what brought both of those individuals into the fold.
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool. That line and how lucky, my younger self, are you proud of me? I actually I live by that.
Yeah.
When I'm buying a Paul McCartney fucking ticket ass with the bajillion dollar one, I look at my, lifetime savings account for emergencies only, and I go, my younger self would call this an emergency.
I feel that I got pit tickets for My Chemical Romance.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see that. We're up in God's seats, but it's going to be great.
Oh, really? You going to the next week, that one?
Dodger Stadium on the 27th. Yeah.
I'm going the 26th.
Oh, hell
but
yeah.
I got pit tickets, but it's like, sure, I don't make enough money to afford those tickets.
But you'll get money.
But what are you
You'll
going to
get
do?
it back.
It's the Black Parade.
When you're on your deathbed, you're going to be like...
If 14-year-old me looked at me today going to the pit tickets, he would have been like, spend all of your money, spend your whole life savings.
All of it now.
Sell all of your fancy toys and go to see that.
Someone asked the question, 1 or 2?
2.
Yeah, I'm leaning
1.
2.
I like the number 1 because it's more...
1. Would you ever return to these characters in the future, maybe like a Beatrice-centric release or anything?
Spin-off.
That's a good question. Sorry, should we go in order?
Young Beatrice.
I mean, I'm just down for whatever sort of like whatever strikes us in any moment, just creatively. Like we're like, oh yeah, no, it sort of makes sense to do something like that or revisit. Like, oh, we have an idea now to do something with that. Then yeah, totally. You know, whatever the sort of creative ideas take us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I'm.
What's your heart rate?
I got a really funny text from Amanda. Sorry. But I think absolutely. Even if it's not direct, I'm very inspired by Beatrice as like a character. That speaking of Courtney, that a lot of that comes through Courtney's performance.
Yeah.
And I think how visceral she made Beatrice's experience is. And I think Beatrice as a character is in many ways a lot more interesting maybe than Adam. But that was the point. Adam is like this kind of NPC that's mad he's an NPC. And it's like, well, just stop. Like it's really as simple as that. You can make a choice to have personal accountability and responsibility. Obviously, there are systematic issues with the world. But as like, I don't know, you can't blame that for why your dreams are shattered and you keep going, oh, well, I want to make spaghetti on Tuesday night. So
Speaking of
always spaghetti.
Your dreams being shattered, Jacob, you want to read the next?
Do you piss fart when you fart piss fart shit?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the Instagram crowd for you guys.
Yeah, dude. Freaking Instagram. You get questions like 1 or 2. This one says, "Would you rather kiss Gerard Way?" Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I would rather kiss Gerard Way Black Parade era than any other era, including now. Sorry.
What about Danger Days era with the red hair?
I love the red hair.
I love the red hair, but I mean the black Sergeant Pepper outfits
Like
with the white hair.
buzz cut.
It's just like. And the vibe of that, like I love the ambition of Danger Days, but Black Parade.
I've talked to people about that, about how I feel like the Black Parade is like, and I didn't come up with this idea. I saw it on like the internet, but I've never heard anyone else talk about it, about how the Black Parade is kind of like a dark mirror to Sergeant Pepper's.
Oh, yeah. Actually, me and my friends are thinking about dressing up as like the bright colored Sergeant Pepper's to the Black Parade show. But the costumes are so expensive. But I'm like, maybe we could just wear them for one day and then return them. But yeah, no, it's very like, I don't know. It's I'm very excited to see the Black Parade in its entirety because that's what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah.
Sergeant Pepper's be like when I'm 32.
Yeah.
Okay. Last listener lightning round. Is there going to be another Angus song, perhaps a prequel to complete the trilogy?
We've talked about it. We've written a few that we do live only. Well, I guess only one.
What happened to Angus in the West?
I was about to say, you guys saw Angus in the West. Yeah,
Angus in the West fucks. It was we I think we said at the show, but like the whole intention of that was it's only going to be live on this tour, and we're never playing it ever again. Now we have many recordings of it live that we are probably thinking about releasing, but.
It's like you got it when you can't expect lightning to strike. You just got to wait for it to.
I know you were talking about Angus in space or something.
Yeah.
Angus takes Manhattan.
Yeah, there's I mean, it's not I will say it's not a priority, but it's like cuz we on the Great American West tour we did Angus in the West. And then, like, this time around, we didn't write a new song, but we did, obviously, the Talking Heads bit. So it's like there's always going to be a new Angus element. But the idea of finishing the trilogy, as it were, I think it's more fun leaving it open-ended and leaving the third slot live, at least, being something new and something beyond.
Anything that pagan is going to be hilarious live.
Yeah. I will say, I think the third thing has to come. The third installment has to come at a point in our career where it's like we can record with like the London Philharmonic at Abbey Road or something.
Yeah.
Or like
it's like the most
my God.
insane, like
it's
when you're famous, like
and
like they're like, what did they come out with? Angus like does crack or
with
something.
a full
Well, now hold on. Now we're on to something. We're on to something here.
Could you imagine the title is
There's no epic story. It's just Egg is just
drugs.
He's just
and it's like all like in Latin. It's like there's no lyrics really. It's just like this like 12.5-minute like classical piece, you know.
You sing in Latin, but translated from Latin, it's just "I am on crack."
I need help. Help me. With the power of Christ, I have stopped
Smoking crack.
Someone asked this question, and we don't have a definite answer. Will you tour together? I would love
Hey
to.
now,
Dude,
don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah, I would love to. This upcoming tour, we're actually we discovered on this last tour that touring with I love touring with a band, okay, it's like us and the Ugly Cowboys or us and Fencer. It's like, okay, night after night we're playing together and this is our show. The local openers always surprise us.
Yep.
You know, like the Ugly Cowboys were a local opener, and we fell in love with them. We brought them on the road this last time around. There are a lot of shows, and because of just the nature of our show and how much energy it costs,
And how long
it is, and just like it's like, you know, we did a show in Saskatoon, and we didn't go on stage till like 10:15 p.m. And it was we were out of the venue by I think like 2 or 3 in the morning, and there were like 2 opening bands, and the opening bands were fucking awesome. They were so fucking good.
You're like, how do we have energy for this?
Yeah, so it's like we had to truncate our set list, and it was by our standards a subpar performance, and it's a bummer because like as much as we like want to provide a support, and we always will when the opportunity comes, like especially like because I want to go on the road with you guys, like, you know, like it's a co-tour, you know, on this upcoming run, we are like kindly asking the coat tour. Yeah. On this upcoming run, we're kindly asking the venues to see if they'd be cool with it just being like an evening with, so that we have plenty of time to play.
You guys need that.
And that we can get out of there before midnight, because that last tour it was exhausting. I mean, like night after night we were rolling up to the hotel, falling asleep at 2, and we'd have to wake up at like 7, you know, at the late, like if we were waking up at 7, wheels up at 7. So it's like, wow, if we had to wake up at 7, it's like, wow, vacation, you know? Yeah. So it's, but that's the thing, like it's at the same time, though, like we're really excited to bring on a bunch of bands, because when venues are like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna need an opening band," we're like, "Okay, well we know this fucking awesome band out in Pennsylvania. We know these great bands in like New York, and we know of these other bands like down in the South. Like we're really excited to bring on a bunch of artists that we love. And yeah, I would love to do a co-tour with you guys for a co-tour with you guys.
So fun.
One day,
maybe next year, you know, West Coast. Like that would be sick.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to say or discuss to the good people of the world?
The word
testicle.
What word? Testicle. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk.
It's a circle. It's a circle.
I truly wanted to talk about your newest song. It's like it's so good. I mean, the Beatlesisms, like you know, going to those 7th chords, going down to a minor, and the melody. It's so melody heavy, and I want to know the creative process behind that, the writing, the recording. How long were you sitting on that before it was released? Everything.
Super long.
I had the boo 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 boo, the bass line and the riff, because I was thinking maybe steal from the Beatles a little, if that makes sense, and because it kind of sounds like came in the bathroom window, but it kind of sounds like
very
that
blues.
Boom, exactly. And the riff, Led Zeppelin did a thing that kind of sounded like that, so I was like, that's cool. And then I just kind of sat on it. I had the opening line, and that's kind of it. And then we were just like, what should we do for the album? And I was just going through my old notes, and I just played that, and Danny went, I love that.
Oh, that is right. That's how that happened, yeah.
And then Danny wrote the chords for the you started just kind of strumming for the chorus,
yeah.
And we were like,
this is awesome.
It's very Oasis,
simple, and it's simple because I feel like we write a lot we're like, we want to throw a left turn here and do like a bunch of,
And we still did.
We still did. We still sang a sea shanty
Yeah, at
for
the end of
30
it for no
seconds at the
reason.
end of the song.
I love it. Like the ending is it's fucking awesome how you do that. That's my favorite part of the song.
I'm so
and it was inspirational to us. It's just like, oh yeah, remember you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like who?
And whatever you
that's
want.
why we did it. That's fully why. It's because we were like, we just want to do this,
Yep.
and we don't care that the algorithms aren't going to like this. The people might not like this, but this
genuine.
is us. Just want to do a sea shanty
Exactly.
here.
Like it was a thing. I was debating because I was like, do we need the sea shanty? Like every time I would hear it, I'd be like, I love this song. Then the sea shanty comes on. I like the sea shanty, but I don't like it. Doesn't make sense. You know, maybe it should be its own thing. Maybe it'd be better for the algorithm. And we kind of were talking about that, but then I think we just decided like, are you rock and roll or are you not rock and roll?
Right.
And we're rock and
And
roll.
we're fucking rock and roll, so,
So-
we're gonna do whatever we want.
I mean, it's such a like speaking of Paul, like Ram, you know, like it's just like
Yeah.
it just fucking yanks you in these other directions, but it's so satisfying. It's not like yanking you like fucking Dream Theater ass, where it's just like like
Yeah,
just
just
annoying,
all-
fucking terrible. I don't like Dream Theater that much. I'm sorry. I love them as musicians. I think Mike Portnoy is a fucking brilliant fucking drummer. He's just amazing.
Oh, he's great.
Oh
Portnoy's
my
amazing.
god! But like, yeah, Dream Theater kind of drives me
Well,
nuts.
there goes our chance.
And there goes our chance at opening for Dream Theater. I think they're done after this tour though, and also they don't have an opening band because they played for 8 hours.
Who would do that?
But I mean, as musicians, they are amazing. But it's like, you know, I think what they have in a technical ability and a great fucking, you know, just monster musicianship. Sometimes they'll find like a riff or a melody that's just so fucking good, and they do it once and they never do it again. And
Yeah,
it pisses
I
me
hate
off.
that.
It drives
I
me
hate
nuts.
that.
Yeah, and they do it because they're like, oh well, repeating stuff is lame, and I'm like,
This is kind of
okay, I guess Revolver is lame. You know,
Yeah.
like what? You know,
I'm like,
To an
it's, tangentially, it's kind of how I feel about like prog in general, where it's just like if you're doing prog things, if you're making proggy choices just for the sake of being like different and proggy, like it's like it's kind of, where's the depth to that? Where it's like I feel like for me, like when you're making prog decisions, like it's the intersection of doing something alternative and subversive, but in a way that's still enjoyable, satisfying. You know, it's got to still work really well.
That's why Rush
Like, talking
is
about
the best.
Cox earlier.
What was that?
It's like what we were talking about with like making content earlier, where
Yeah.
if
Right,
you're
exactly.
just for the sake of, oh, I'm doing this gimmick, then people aren't going to attach to it.
Yeah.
But if you're making a prog song and you go, I want to throw this left turn here, not to throw a left turn, but because I feel like the song should go there,
Exactly.
then
Yeah.
Totally.
And you can always like I think we sometimes will be like, oh, and then you just do this, like that's crazy. But if it doesn't feel like, you do it for the sake of doing it, and then you find the meaning later, you know what I mean? But then like if you can't find that meaning later, stop, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love like Yes and Rush and King Crimson. I mean, those are fucking progressive rock bands that, I mean, you listen to Heart of the Sunrise, and if you don't fucking weep your ass off, like, you know, sharp distance, it's just like, oh my god, I get goosebumps thinking about it, you know. And King Crimson too, like I always think of Moonchild off the first album, and that like 8-minute long just like fucking vibraphone jazz fucking weird thing that finally turns into this beautiful lullaby at the end. It's just like it's unbelievable. It's like, so those are a bunch of left turns, right? But they all point to an emotion or something that works. And Rush was like exquisite at songwriting and showing off virtuosity that like no one could play it except Rush. And also like Geddy's voice, like when you hear someone cover Rush, it's just kind of like,
Not the
it's
same.
never the
ever
same.
sound-
It's just like it's weird. It's so weird. The best Rush cover bands are
Good
always
thing we
the
don't
one,
cover Rush.
Well,
You.
that's the thing. Even then, it's like I know what it is. You know, I always thought the best Rush cover bands were the ones where there's like a woman singing. You know, because it's like it gives it when a dude, especially like a baritone ass is like, living on a I'm like, die, just die. It's just terrible. But yeah, I love those fucking bands. Even like Primus, like as weird as they are, like I feel emotions, like real emotions when I hear like shit like Tommy the Cat. It's like kind of like I want to run around and just like break shit, but yeah, it's great.
Well, they mean it. Well, guys, I think we have broken the record for longest podcast ever.
Yeah,
That happens.
undoubtedly.
Talk to,
You guys are awesome, and thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
I think you guys. Oh, great! 1 sec. We're just like bye. I think you guys are very inspirational, and you're very good. It's just like
Look who's
I
talking.
love.
Yeah.
Shut up. But
Testicles.
thank you for coming on. Seriously.
Of course.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us,
absolutely.
man.
This
This
has
is
been
awesome.
fun. Thanks for letting us wax poetic a little bit. It is always a pleasure to talk about the new record. We don't get a whole lot of opportunities to, so this is awesome.
Of course.
Of course.
And
Thanks
everyone,
for making art.
Everyone
Thanks for
go
making
stream
art.
it.
Dude. Yes, and please,
Plug
obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure you've heard Fiere and Gasolina, but you have to listen to it again because it's so fucking good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
anyway, we are
We're
Homestyle
Homestyle
Dinner
Dinner
Rolls, and you've been listening
Wait.
to Two Damn.
I didn't agree to that first part of We Are Homestyle Dinner Rolls. I didn't think that was a thing. I thought we were supposed to say just that you've been listening to Too Damn Loud, and now I'm very confused.